Actually, engaged na ako. 7 years na kami. Then yun, nag-break kami ng fiancé ko. Ayun, nasacrifice din para dito sa career na to. Taas yung expectation sa'yo ng mga tao, nanonood sa'yo, ng mga supporter mo. Tapos kapag napipil mo sila, ako yung batuhan ng mga masakit na salita. Medyo handa na ako doon. Kaso kapag yung family mo na inaapektuhan, tumatawag pa sila sa akin, sila na mismo yung nagre-response doon sa mga haters na yun. Pero hindi ka na makilala ng mga tao, pati personal na buhay mo dinadamay. Kala kasi ng iba, pag pro player ka na, masarap na buhay mo. Pero hindi nila alam yung struggle din namin na yung tuloy-tuloy na practice, mga scrimmage, nakaka-drain siya sobra. Mas mahirap actually practice kaysa doon sa mismong tournament. Yung tournament mo, madalas best of 3 lang, di ba? Pero the whole week, sobrang dami mong pagdadaanan na practices. Kahit sabi mong practice lang, matalo ka lang, nakaka-tilt siya. Kailangan matuto ka doon sa mga losses mo, kahit sa practice lang. Nag-motivate sa akin. Siyempre yung mga fans, yung mga families, friends, and yung mga taong naniniwala sa amin. Kahit natatalo kami, nandyan sila. Gusto namin suklian yung trust nila sa amin. Ayun yung nag-motivate sa akin. Nagpapalakas talaga. Sa family ko, sobrang thankful ako sa nila kasi before talaga against sila, alam naman nila dati na stable na yung work ko. Parang dati kino-question pa nila yung career path na tinatahak ko. Nakita nila yung improvement ng Mobile Legends and yung nangyayari nga sa akin. Salamat sa inyo dyan, mga ate, mga kuya, kay Papa sa support. Tropa ko dyan sa mga classmate ko dati. Yung mga hindi nagsawa talaga lagi nandyan. Fans din ng Blacklist dyan, thank you talaga sa inyo lahat. Yung na-build up sa akin kung paano maging isang leader talaga. Kasi before, nung student ako, yung pagiging leader mo, kailangan ka lang ikaw yung mag-utos na mag-utos, di ba? Yung totoong leader pala, yung dapat ikaw mismo yung gumagawa ng mga gusto mong mangyari. Ikaw yung mangunguna. Hindi ikaw yung papaunahin mo sila. Sila isasabak mo dun sa gusto mong mangyari. Kailangan ikaw yung mag-lead sa kanila.
Welcome back to Inside Mobile Legends. We have prepared a comprehensive update, aka Project Next, for the new season to come. Don't forget to check it out on September 22nd when the update goes live. Now, without further ado, let's dive in. Starting with the updated battlefield. First off, we have added special siege minions to the side lane minion waves. The siege minions on the side that is close to the first turtle spawn, aka the turtle lane, will provide 50% extra EXP, whereas the siege minions on the other side lane grant the player 50% extra gold. However, all the special siege minions will return to regular ones starting from the 8th minion wave. Moving on to the defense towers, we have added a shield to every outer tower. In the first 3 minutes of the game, if the player or the friendly minions attack the enemy outer tower, the player will, in return, get gold. The amount of gold to be obtained is determined by the damage dealt to the enemy tower and the number of allies around. Moreover, we have made drastic changes to the jungler position. In the new update, only the player who's equipped with the battle spell Retribution can purchase jungle items. Once the player has purchased a jungle item, the EXP obtained from minions will be reduced in the first 3 minutes of the game. We've also made some major changes to the jungle buffs and some of the equipment items. We will leave those for you to find out later. In the previous Project Next episodes, we have introduced you to the skill adjustments for 6 heroes: Mia, Eudora, Layla, Saber, Zilong, and Alucard. Apart from them, Alice has received a revamp as well. Firstly, we have redesigned her ultimate skill. In the new patch, players are free to choose when to deactivate her ultimate. What's more, the cooldown of the ultimate is greatly reduced. And to make it easier for players to utilize Alice's mechanics, we have adjusted her first skill. If the player keeps pressing on the button after Alice's first skill is cast, the camera will follow the bloodstream so that the player can decide when to cast this skill again. Lastly, we have adjusted Alice's passive and granted it a mono regen effect. Apart from them, Aurora, Mortis, Vale, and even more heroes have been revamped. Feel free to check the patch notes for the details when the update arrives. Aside from the hero skill changes, we've also made some great improvements in terms of hero modeling. Now, with the updated animation and visual effects, it is safe to say that MLBB has taken a giant leap. Concerned about the increased system consumption? Worry no more. All the changes and optimization won't cost you extra system consumption. We have included elements of the MLBB universe in the hero display screen. Now, different heroes will have different backgrounds depending on their places of origin in the Land of Dawn. To make it easier for you to execute team strategies and to avoid overlapping visuals, we have conducted an overhaul of battlefield visual elements. What's more, in terms of equipment items, we have not only optimized their visuals, but also their icons. From the login screen to the post screen, you shall notice many refreshing changes to the UI. And when it comes to the controls and the field of view, we have also made great improvements, with which we hope our players can fully enjoy the fun of a mobile MOBA.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
afternoon, esports fans. Welcome back to Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League Season 6. We are on Week 7, Day 1 right now, and right off the bat, it's going to be a hot one, ladies and gents. I'm going to be your anchor for today. I'm Rockhart alongside my analyst, Wolf. We bring you the action as it comes here. Wolf, what do you think about the matchup today?
Oh man, I am thinking a lot of things for this. And everybody is, I'm sure, this is hashtag all in the two of the biggest fan bases here in the MPL-PH season. And this is interesting because the most watched team or matchup in the regular season of MPL and in the history of esports here in the Philippines. This is round 2 for that one.
Round 2, and it's going to be playoffs if ever they'll face off against each other. But before that, of course, a big thank you to the sponsors who make this tournament possible. First, our official telco partner, Smart. Squad up, rank up, and keep up with your favorite teams as Smart powers up your game with free games for all. Get up to 14 gigabytes for Mobile Legends and Facebook Gaming for 7 days. Simply download the new GigaLife app and choose free games.
And also like to thank our official sponsor, Realme. The Realme 7 series is now available nationwide. Join the revolution and own the fastest charging smartphone in the country. Like and follow Realme on social media to know more.
That's right. And of course, our official sponsor, Gillette. Get free diamonds with your purchase of Gillette's Mach-Free Razor, Vector-Free Razor, or Blue-Free Simple Force Pack in select Pure Gold Wars edition.
We also like to thank our partners in esports. Our first partner in esports, PayMaya. Get free 50 balance credits from PayMaya when you download and register using the code MLBB. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, and partner in esports, TikTok Live. We're also going to be live on TikTok. If you search the hashtag MLBB or Mobile Legends on TikTok, not only will you be able to watch our official stream there, you'll be able to see our content creators and our favorite players as well.
That's right. Also, we would also like to thank our official gaming headset partner, Logitech G, and MPL-PH Season 6 is powered by Moonton.
It's going to be a hot one, ladies and gents. I love it. I love the rematch. I love all the hype that's been coming in between these two teams.
Man.
And I have to say that I don't think we're ready for this yet. Because
No,
I feel like
I don't think so.
it's going to be so
I don't
much
think so.
happening on social media right now. I'm so itching to touch my phone right now
That's
to
right.
check it out. All the teams are probably getting ready right now. And maybe some of the posting has stopped. But I feel like there's just so much to catch up on.
Yeah. You know what? There's a lot of things that's gonna happen that people are thinking about. Whether are we going to see gymnasts? Are we going to see
Gymnasts.
the other 6 months Zapnu? But also we also have to talk about the new heroes that are gonna be available.
Exactly.
If you don't know, Project Next Heroes, the revamped ones, the poster boys and girls of Mobile Legends Bang Bang have been revamped in the previous patch. They weren't allowed. It wasn't allowed. Project Next Heroes weren't allowed here in the last week, but now it is allowed, and that's gonna shake up a lot of things here in this matchup between Execration and Nexplay Solid.
For sure. Before that, though, let's get into the standings for Group A and Group B. Right now, we are on Group A. That is Execration and Nexplay Solid. That is third and fourth team right now for this bracket. And as you can see, Blue Fire, they're grayed out, which means that they are no longer in contention for the playoff spots, being left at 2 with not many games left to this team at all. And on the other side, we'll also see a matchup between top 1 and top 5 for Group B.
Yeah.
It is a long shot, I have to say, and the disparity of the points is a very big.
You know what? For BSB, they don't have much anymore. They have already played 10 out of their 13 series. And technically speaking, with 3 games left for them to be able to overtake their opponents, which is Signal Ultra. When it comes to the group standings, they need to win it all. They have to start against Bren Esports. They also have to take note that Signal Ultra should not be winning as much as they are if BSB still wants to continue their campaign here in the MPL-PH Season 6.
So the condition for BSB is not only do they have to perfectly win every game that they have, Signal Ultra must also lose each and every game that they have remaining for them to even...
Technically speaking, yes. If
Oh my gosh.
BSB wants to win and get into the playoffs, BSB, they need 2-1s, but if they go 2-1, Signal Ultra needs to lose more.
Yes.
And I'm actually looking at the schedule now. If BSB will be playing against Signal Ultra once again, unfortunately, the answer is no. And Signal Ultra already won twice against BSB.
Yeah.
What makes it really bad is that if BSB ties it up with Signal Ultra, they will lose the head-to-head, like by a landslide.
That's going to be a pretty big disparity. And again, BSB are in for a long and hard weekend. This weekend is going to be do or die.
That's right.
For that team.
Well, good thing is we are going to witness a different matchup. That's Nexplay versus Execration. Like we said, very much history making. I'm thinking of a perfect word for it, but it's history making when it comes to viewership. I mean, we had what, 500,000 peak viewers in the Filipino broadcast, 130,000 on YouTube, and even more. What's really interesting is that after the games, that's where the real fun happens, right?
That's true. The pre-game and the post-game.
The pre-game and the post-game.
Exactly.
I love it.
That's where the fun really happens. But obviously, this is the determining factor for that.
That's right.
So let's have a look at Execration and let's see how confident they are coming into the game today.
Para sa akin, walang threat. Tingin mo sa kanila, pares-pares na lang talaga. Kumbaga magkakatrolo lang talaga sa team composition sa draft.
Walang threat. Matakot lang kayo sa amin. At antayin nyo kami.
Siguro yung back-to-back champ, yung MLBB. Kasi hindi namin sila nakalaban ng playoffs eh. Alam ko, kaya namin sila talunin eh.
Mga SGD kasi gustong maranasan ulit makatalo ng mga gold medalists.
Yung gusto ko makalaban sa MPL, yung nasa amateurs sila Doggy, sana makapasok sila.
Gusto ko rin NXP. Parang masaya, meron kaming kalaban ng mga TikToker.
Hihilig, pero lalaro.
And I am going to talk about those lines for sure. This is Execration, Hate, Sagitnu, Benny Cutie, Itumax, Chaknu, and Zapnu. Support the teams by scanning the QR codes on the upper right of your screens. And did you know that these minute to meet videos were shot way before?
You know what?
Way before the qualifiers.
That is exactly what I was about to say. This was taken before the actual MPL.
Yes.
And you know, they can feel that even after 7 weeks have happened, the hype was already there.
Right, exactly.
The friction between both teams have already erupted weeks ago, months ago, and now it has come into full blast. How hyped is that?
That is just awesome to hear, right? I mean, them calling out NXP even before NXP qualified for the MPL, and now they are the ones that everyone is waiting for the fire, for the fires of war to erupt between these two teams. I have to say that Execration, they're looking on top form. They are on top form right now, and they are very much ready. They are fresh off that 2-1 victory, the most recent one against them, against NXP. That a lot of people were saying that was supposed to be an NXP game. Now, Execration has to prove to everyone watching that is not right.
I need to say to all of the viewers right now watching, you have to look at Execration as one of the dark horses, not only dark horses, but also contenders here in MPL-PH Season 6. This is not even a joke. What I'm about to tell you is not even a joke. They are so prepared right now, and they have already stopped their previous bad habits.
Right.
And maybe we can talk about that later as we talk about NXP Solid.
Yeah, NXP Solid. We have H2O, Renegade, MB, Chester, Yaoi, and Gymnast. We're talking about bad habits. Their team founder, ako si Doggy, he's already mentioned that this team's bad habits, it's TikTok. And we'll have to wonder and see if after this, they'll be allowed back on that platform. As you know, that boot camp has a very strict no TikTok rule. Oh, yeah. I don't know, I wonder if that's going to be a factor here. And that's been the ongoing battle, actually. for how many days now on that social media platform.
And TikTok is one of our partners in esports for sure.
That's right.
And if you want to know what we're talking about, why don't you search the hashtag
Yeah,
Mobile Legends in there?
do it.
Right? Watch the
Do
legendary videos. For NXP Solid, I think that is more of a joke in a way, but I'm sure that Ako Si Doggy means it. Here's the thing. NXP Solid is distracted. That's one thing that we have to take note.
At least they looked
They
distracted.
looked really distracted, and you know what? In a league like this, in MPL-PH Season 6, it won't matter what you're doing if you don't focus on your goals, if you don't set your goals right, if you don't focus, and if you're not determined to win at all, you're not going to make it in there. The people, the teams that are dedicated will just trump you 100%. And if you're looking at the top teams right now, for example, Aura-PH, Bren Esports, even Omega, looking at how they play, they plan, they look like they have a plan, they look like they are executing well, they look like they rehearsed everything, and that's where you know that a real professional is in play.
That's right. Every time, every moment that you're not practicing, the enemy team is already planning.
Right.
They're already grinding. And that is something that you always have to keep in mind if you are part of the biggest and the most competitive league in the country.
I really don't mind if Ako Si Doggy or whatever, whoever it is, right, from the Nexplay squad tells them to stop doing whatever you're doing and focus on this.
Yeah.
No matter who is it, he is actually correct. Because what you need to do is to wake up. If you're a team on a slump, you have to evaluate, why are we not getting it in there? Why are we not winning the games?
Exactly.
And 100% of, I mean, maybe not 100%, but about 90%, 80% of the time, teams that are distracted, that aren't focused, are easily trumped by their opponents.
I agree. And again, you have to play at a maximum level. You have to, if you have potential, a lot of players are saying that this team has potential. If you have that, you have to push it to its boundaries. You have to push it to its limits. You cannot be complacent, especially with an opponent like Execration right now, who are tearing it up against some of the top teams here in the MPL as well.
I also want to say, though, that we are only saying this because we know that Nexplay Solid have very good mechanically skilled players.
Absolutely.
H2O and Yawi, players here playing for NXP Solid, they aren't famous for nothing. They are famous for sure because of their streams or whatnot, but they're known. But before they were famous, they were good first. Exactly. And I think that they're still very good right now. I think that they have the skills to make it to the MPL. It's just that it doesn't just take skills to win games here in the MPL, the Professional League of the Philippines. That's why I feel that Nexplay Solid, they have the ingredients to win it all. Just like Execration has right now.
Yeah, in Execration, definitely they have the stats to prove it as well. Coming into the head-to-head, you can tell that this team has really evolved from where they were before. Used to be, they were called like the team that relied a lot on momentum. They liked the chaotic 1v1s. They liked the 2v2s. Coming into matchups, that's how they win. If they lose game one, it's over for them. No longer. And Execration already has mastery over the rotations. That's obvious by the KDA, by the turrets, by the first blood counts. They don't mind losing the early games as long as they can get ahead in the macro.
Oh, you know what, Execration? I'm just going to say it. I had the chance to talk to a lot of teams during the weekday. Actually, not a lot of teams. Literally all the teams.
All of them, right.
I was able to talk to them. I had maybe 3 hours each team to talk to them just to flesh out some information about them.
Oh.
And you know what's really inspiring to me? You'll be surprised. Execration is one of the real good teams right now.
Really?
Because of the fact that they already know why they weren't winning in the previous seasons.
Basically aware of their weaknesses.
They are aware of their weaknesses. And that is literally just themselves. Whatever it is that's stopping Execration from before was just themselves, their discipline. They're one of the teams that were famous and notoriously known as the team that will just go out and party before playing,
before a big day,
before a big day, for a game day, and they will not be prepared. Even Zapno himself told me that they were surprised they were winning before, but now it's totally different. They analyze their games, they allot time to study their opponents, And even their draft looks good. By the way, Etomax is one of the most improved players. If there's an award for the most improved player of the
Yeah,
season,
for sure.
that for me is top pick.
Even if they're not really on the top of the ladders, you definitely have to give props to that. And of course, on the star match head-to-head, looking at these numbers, it's not glaring. You know, number of championships, yeah, probably. We'll get to that in a bit. Season win rate, obviously better for Execration because they are higher up on the standings. And FB support rate is where I'm surprised that half and half right now, Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
The biggest glaring, obviously, difference is the match record. It's a 2-1. And again, like I said before, they have a lot to get back up to. On the player head-to-head, though, Sagitno versus Renegade. Very interesting.
The side laners for both teams. Interestingly, Sagitno is also a jolly good fellow. But when he plays, he's really scary. That's kind of true for Renegade. Renegade is more of a side laner that you'll be surprised that he can really deliver in the late game. And also very mechanically skilled as compared to other of the players here in the other side laners. I'd say offlaners here in the MPL-PH Season 6. Renegade wants to outplay his opponents. When other players wants to out-macro their opponents, Renegade wants to outplay them. And I think that's really what gives a lot of fans something to watch out for.
Yeah, it gives them a lot of flavor. That gives NXP another additional avenue to win. And of course, on the other star player head-to-head, we will have Chakno and Yawi. I was talking about this earlier. Chakno and Yawi, these two guys very rarely get that MVP count. But these guys are the backbone of both of these respective teams. Chakno, the X Factor. Yawi, the guy you never focus on, but if you don't, he jumps straight on you with his Kufra. That is... These guys, you have to watch out for them.
100% agree with you, man. Yawi as well as Chakno, they are the enablers. Of their own squads. I'd say that majority of the wins that Execration have taken is off of Chakno really popping off, right?
Right,
There are some good players, like when Hate is off, he's really bad, but when he's up, it's really good. But when Chakno is consistently at the top of his game, I cannot recall a game here in MPL Season 6 where Chakno played badly.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Even in the games they're losing.
Even in the games that they're losing, that's correct.
He looks like he's the one who is just literally carrying people and pushing people towards the wall, trying to win, even if they're down by 10,000 gold. That is your star player head-to-head.
Weirdly enough, man, you can attribute consistency to Chakno, and I think that's good. And I just want to say, though, that Yawi is kind of a little bit of an opposite. Well, this is... we have to give it to him. He's good when he's given his hero. When he is given his spot, he's going to make it out there. However, I think that when Nexplay either drafts badly for Yawi, and also when they don't play around Yawi, there's a lot of anchor in that Nexplay solid squad.
That's
and I
true.
think that Chakno is the entire opposite, because give him whatever, he's going to make it really good for you.
You kind of notice that especially on the times where Yawi is forced to use a Carmilla.
That's literally what I'm talking about. Yeah,
forced to use Carmilla or a Baksha. It's just big. It's a big difference when he uses the Kufra. I wonder if Atlas is going to be up for contention at this point, because a lot of the teams in the MPL now kind of focus on the side lanes. Right? They kind of want to have a strong side lane first. That's why you see a priority ban and priority pick on the big fighters like Kufra, like Fams, and like Yuzhong. I don't actually Yuzhong not so much, but Cho is also a big factor between a lot of the teams. Not these two teams are no different. But because of that, I wonder if the tank role is going to be a lot more open now that it's not the priority focus of the bans, right?
That's actually a very nice thought. But then again, we also have to take into consideration that these teams know each other, and I think that they will not give those heroes, particularly Atlas and Kufra, to both of these players.
Permaban. Permanently permaban for both. Atlas not so much, right? Because if you notice, Atlas got slowed down a lot.
That's right.
In this patch. I think we on the previous week, we saw only like one pick of
Yeah,
Atlas.
it is only one pick of Atlas. It was Execration actually.
Yes, exactly.
It was Execration.
I
It
think
was
so.
Execration with the Luyi combo, and they were successful with it. I think that was a complete series against MLBB, and MLBB were not really stumped, but more like defeated in the long run by Execration. That's what I really want to talk about when we are talking about Execration. They are on a roll. They faced a little bit of an easy matchup against Blue Fire, but they also faced a tough matchup against MLBB. MLBB, a team that's on the rise, but they were able to 2-0 the MLBB squad, and I think that's a very significant victory for Execration. Now, if we compare that to NXP lost against Onyx and lost against Bren.
Oh, yeah, that was last week.
That was last week.
I gotta say, the week of 2-0s, right? That was the week of 2-0s.
And how is that going to play out? I think that Execration is feeling so confident right now. And Nexplay Solid, I hope that they have already recovered from their loss against Execration, as well as their losses against the previous teams. That's Onyx and Bren. Because that is going to be devastating if they don't recover, because Execration will just eat them whole.
For sure. Execration, especially now that they're on a streak here.
That's right.
For a week now. And I would say that they must be feeling pretty good about their chances. Now for NXP, we're back here. If you notice, there's a trend, right? There's a 2-0, 0-2, 2-0, 1-2, 0-0-2, 2-2-1. 2-1-2-1, 0-0-2. I think there's a trend here that NXP should be on the rise if you analyze if you put it on the graph. But
man, it seems like you're answering a sequence question,
like
a logic test, right?
Like something, right? It's just weird to look at the series win-loss record for NXP.
Well, if you're looking at Execration, however, it's all about streaks. Aside from their first loss against Aura, it's a 3-match win streak for Execration, and then a 3-match loss, and then a 2-match win. Are they gonna complete it?
Is this it?
Another
right?
one? Like, is it the winning streak?
It can go either way.
It can go either way. That's right.
Yeah, interesting. And I have to say that it's feeling better for Execration. Manjin, I was talking Manjin earlier in the Tagalog stream. He was like really adamant. This is gonna be an Execration win. This is gonna be an Execration win. We were asking for explanations. Steve said this is gonna be an Execration win. But I just think that Execration does look really good. Even in the games that they're supposed to lose, they keep winning.
Yep.
The lineup, I'm curious about this lineup. Do you see, is that Billy? No, I don't think that's Billy.
I don't think.
That's
so,
not Zapno. Right?
Inside information, everyone. I hope that you are
Oh,
ready.
here we
I hope
go,
that
here
your
we go.
ears are ready.
Wolf about to drop a
No,
bomb here.
Zapno already
announced it.
Yeah, it's more like Zapno accepted the fact that the boys, that he trusts his boys so much right now.
Oh,
His teammates.
okay, there you go.
And he knows that when it comes to just the ability to win games, this squad will have a better chance compared to when he is playing.
So he's
right?
conceding this slot.
Yeah.
Right.
However, what he did was to rally the squad. He made it sure that this squad is motivated and that they know what they're gonna do. Zapdo is actually one of the analysts now for Execration, not by profession, not by occupation or whatsoever, but when they are planning, it's Etomax as well as Zapno in the, I'd say
in the boardroom, right?
Boardroom, yeah. They're the leaders.
And I would say that makes a lot of sense. You know, Etomax, like you said, most improved player in this league for sure, by far, right? Compared to other, I mean, some of the teams, they're just consistently good, right? But these guys, they were from the bottom, from the lower bracket from last season, all the way here.
I think that all of the people who have watched and supported Execration in MPL Season 3 were you're too hard on Etomax at that time. Etomax was part of Execration. Did you know that playing in the MPL as a fighter was literally his first stunt as a fighter in a professional league?
Right. Switching.
Because he was a mage player.
He was,
exactly. And we were putting a lot of pressure on Etomax. Even when he was part of Archangel, people are expecting a lot from a player who wasn't in his comfort zone. And when he played badly for Execration, when he did not pop off, everybody was just so angry. Everybody was just bashing him all over. But what you didn't know is that it wasn't the comfort zone of Etomax.
Yeah.
And now, man, the story is complete.
He's playing.
You are seeing him in this comfort zone, and he's really good at it.
Yeah, putting Etomax in a support role, that is just a stroke of genius from Execration. They look more confident, they look more comfortable, and they're enabling their star player Hate to actually just be, their carry player rather. To just be to pop off.
Yeah.
Those are on their victories. I mean, I have to say that Hate, he really does.
Yeah.
He's so mechanically gifted, but definitely needs a lot more of a push, I would say. And on the other side, though, I want to talk about NXP because I feel like NXP has been they're so erratic. I feel like their performance in the league so far has been, it's either they win so hard or they lose and there's no comeback, right? Yeah. But in all of those games, H2O consistently a performer for this team.
What I really love about this team is that they have the killer instinct that we are looking for from a challenger perspective, right? They have good mechanical skills for sure. They might not have much of macro decision making as compared to other teams, but they are on their way to doing it. One thing's for sure, they have those killer instincts that we're talking about. They aren't afraid. And that is an important factor to have when you're a challenger. When you're a rookie to a league, if you're the underdog, you have to play like one. You want to just brawl against your opponents and just show up whatever skill that you have, whatever it is that you want to show off. You just pop off and maybe you're going to take the wins, right? But eventually you're gonna have to mature. But we'll see how much of a maturity has developed for NXP Solid, because I tell you, man, after talking to Execration and hearing their stories, this is a matured version of Execration, and at the same time, it is very entertaining because their mindset is we're gonna just tear them apart. We're just gonna steamroll over there, and if we don't, well, at least we tried.
That's a pretty big statement, I have to say. I mean, I'm so sad I wasn't able to get a glimpse of that photo shoot. I mean,
man, there's really a sight to see. Man, here's the thing. Execration is so fun to see because they're imagine kids living their dream.
Right.
That's how
they look.
They look like, and at the same time, they have good veterans to keep them in check. Right, if you're really over the place and if you are already being immature or whatever, at least there's their elder brothers, their kuyas, as we are in the Philippines.
Right.
And I love that we're seeing that from the side of Execration.
Yeah, so much to look forward to here.
That's right.
And again, we are very close to the draft, ladies and gents, so please hang on to your hats and just wait for the draft, because we are. I mean, I know you guys are excited, but you have to believe us. So are we. We are going to have to wait for that, and I just feel like there's just so much that we can look forward to here for this game. Now, we're back on Execration, and I'm kind of sad I'm not going to be able to see Gymnast still. I mean, that's what everyone was saying. A lot of times, I mean, like, Gymnast is like, come on, bring out your sixth man. That's been a challenge from Zapnu, right? For what? It's a challenge for NXP, rather.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
It's
For the
funny.
longest time.
For the longest time. Zapnu came out. Then Exa said, you know what, NXP, why don't you try doing this?
Yeah.
Try doing this for a change. Well, of course, we're not seeing him right now on the screen, so he's definitely not going to be playing.
Yep. But, oh, man. The tension is brewing up, everyone. And
yeah, look at them.
Just want to see the draft for sure for game number 1. However, I think that we're going to be waiting for a little bit more. Nevertheless, I want to say that Thams is one of the heroes that we should be looking for here in this specific matchup, as well as Khalid. But like you said before, tanks are of a big, I would say this, an extreme commodity.
Right.
A big commodity in this game.
Big commodity.
Like Atlas and Kufra particularly. I don't know if they have changed their choices from previous weeks, but I think that it might just stick to the last.
Really?
Have we started already?
Is this real? This is
true.
real. We're
It
already
is.
halfway into the draft.
Okay.
Ladies and gents, NXP Solid versus Execration.
All in!
All in, man. Look at this. Selena's being open. Hilda's open. Oh my God, what happened to that banning phase?
Wow. All right.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of interesting stuff now going to
Yes.
happen, but what's sure is that Farsa, Natalia, and Roger, this is the draft already for Execration. And it's weird because we saw this before. It worked, I believe, against MPL-PH, except from this. Wait, sorry. This was Onyx draft.
Yes.
Against Execration.
This is the exact counter. I have to say, I'm super surprised by this. Has Execration already picked it up? I mean, that's funny because I know they beat this already.
They
right?
did.
They beat this lineup already.
All
Huh.
things considered, it was MLBB. It's more of decision making that they lost that game.
That's true. It was a great
It was
draft.
a great draft.
Yes.
Man, it's a great draft if you think about it, but it's also incredibly hard to execute. I guess the thing with MLBB is that they're like Rock Lee, who put on their... That instead of
Oh.
letting go of their weight, they
Uh-huh.
put it on.
They put on even more.
Yeah.
Right? That's funny.
Because that's exactly what it feels, right? And for
Yes.
Execration, I guess that they will just change their side lanes now because probably MLBB's side lanes were exposed in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they can put the Roger in the middle and then get those solid side laners. And I just want to say as well, I think there was a change in the Athena shield right now.
Yep.
That was from the previous week. And maybe that's why I felt that Esmeralda kind of feels weaker as compared before because teams can now pick up the Athena shield and they're still okay compared to the last game. Although Athena shield is a much better item altogether now.
Yeah, compared to before where
Compared
it
to before.
actually did block off physical and it triggered
That's
on
right.
different kinds of damage. Now it can only trigger on magical damage.
Magical damage.
Not to mention that it only blocks magic damage.
That's right. That's also true. And if you think about it, Esmeralda has been dwindling down when it comes to the strength. I felt it because of our show match last time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read some of the changes, and it seems like the changes on the Athena shield actually have really hampered the growth of this hero. So we're talking
Oh.
about strong side laners,
There
NXP
you
Solid.
go.
This is such an NXP Solid draft.
It is.
I think
it
this
is.
is one of these heroes are their most picked ones, right?
Yeah, especially this Gatot Kacha. A lot of teams are reluctant to
Yeah.
pick up the Gatot Kacha, but NXP says, you know what, this is just another day in the office for us.
Oh, there it is, the double car setup from Execration, like they did in the Onyx page.
Oh my gosh, yes, exactly.
And Benny Cutie. Oh, there's another tidbit that I learned as well from Execration. Benny Cutie really played the term that they used was a core or
Carry.
a carry in the side lanes. But then the meta dictated that side laners will just be fighters in the previous patch. Now that there is a little bit of sustainability in the side lanes, maybe 2 core setups are really gonna be there.
Right.
So now it's Natalia controlled by Chaknu, Etomax Sonia's favorite Farsa, and Hate
Like it.
on the jungle Roger Rockhart.
Yep.
So what you're gonna see is this Natalia will just be a thorn in the heart of NXP, and it will be incredibly hard for the Lancelot H2O to farm. While the Claude is gonna have a lot of good time in the side lanes, and Hate will just take the jungle with him.
Yeah, the fun thing about this is that Selena.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very difficult to counter Selena as well here for the side of NXP. This Natalia could step on a random trap, and then any big plans that he has might go down the
That's
drain.
also right. That's
so
also right.
he can't also just keep invading on the jungle because, again, traps are there. So the decision making is going to be the biggest factor here. Whether or not people are going to engage, or whether or not people are going to just play on their lanes. Execration, they have pioneered the 2-1-2. I don't know if they pioneered it, but they're the ones who keep playing it here. And I wonder if they're going to do that here as well, man.
I guess the term is they are the ones who made it famous.
Viable.
Made it viable. There
Yeah,
it is.
there you go.
They made it look good, to say the least. And I like that we're seeing that. Benny Cutie on this newfound role in the side of Execration will just be the rise. For Execration, we're about to find out, man.
Ladies and gents, it's NXP Solid versus Execration. Game 1 already, we are seeing that they are going to go to the normal for an NXP at least. Sticking to the normal 1-3-1, hands-on for the Natalia to look for any outliers here near the bush. And Execration not going to go for that 2-1-2, man. They are just going to go and hunt down this Lancelot as much as they can.
Well, let's see that. I would say that the laning setup here for Execration was far from what I expected. I thought that it would be like directly side laners, and well, at least Chakna is doing Chakna
What's
things. So.
Chakna doing though? That's a little bit off.
Yeah.
Going for the invade on level 1, Natalia is not going to be as powerful as level 2, but again, you want to try to disrupt that as much as possible. But again, just way too deep, way too early for Chakna.
Oh man, Renegade is gonna be a big bully here in the bottom lane. We know that for sure because the thing with dueling, Thams versus Claude in the laning stages, definitely you're gonna have to give it to the Thams, but now they want to go for the middle.
Okay, Chester going to be very, very low here. Will there be any strong dives? Hate doesn't want to let go. He gets that kill. And Yaoi not going to be able to do much. Level 2 on that Hilda. It's not the Hilda that you see where it invades a lot. It's just there to protect. He's been on the protect front ever since this started. Not sure if that's the best way to play a Hilda. They're going to make it work either way. They are still tied up here on the early game with Sagitnu trying to be as relevant as he can in the early, but not really doing a great job.
Wonder how this will play out for NXP Solid because they are in an early game-based draft and Execration would just want to prolong this with this double core setup.
Man, I'm really not used to Chaknu playing here on an assassin.
No, he
does not feel right at home, man. But he's going to go down right there just like that. And then NXP, they're going to have the advantage to go into the jungle of Execration.
You know what's happening here, man? Chakna thinks that he's a tech, but he isn't. That's probably is what is happening now.
It does.
That's how it feels
sounds
like,
like
right? And unfortunately for Execration, they will have to just prolong this game for them to be able to like withstand or just survive the NXP Solid lineup, because one thing that I want to say about NXP Solid is that it really flourishes in the early stages of the game.
Yep, there you go. Another one for Chakno trying to go for the engage, but looks like Phantom Execute gonna be enough to take him out. At the max, very, very low as well. Cannot go for the wings by wings there. That's going to be the power of the Hilda coming in strong, giving him another stack there. That is not where you want to be right now.
And this is a problem for NXP Solid because this is the second round of buffs. And maybe they were given free time in the first stages of the buff, but not in the second. NXP Solid is going to be punishing Execration in game number 1.
Yeah, that's a hard punish. What do you think about this? This move was very much not warranted. Their position on the map.
Their position is probably what's really eating them. That's what I see from Execration. They're playing it badly. They're not playing it badly. It's just that their positioning is easily exposed by this line of NXP Solid. You do have to take note. A very good early game lineup from NXP Solid means that the action will always be in their favor. However, very nice snag on that Hilda.
Nice snag, and again, MB as well. He's pretty much done on the laning phase. He wants to get into the fight. But, again, there's just so much that they can go for here because of that lead. They are ahead by 1,000. Not that far off, but they have to be careful still.
Turtle is going to be the next objective for both teams as Execration breathes a little bit. Looking at the positioning of Renegade as well. That's how aggressive this Thams is. I think the fact that the Turtle hasn't been taken yet 4 minutes in means that NXP Solid still respects the teamfight potential of Execration.
Speaking of teamfight, look at that. That's not a teamfight. That's a 1v2, and H2O almost single-handedly takes care of Chakno and Itomax here. Gotta be careful. I've been saying over and over again, H2O, consistent player here.
A very consistent player indeed. And top lane, Sagitnu's farm is going to play out a lot of importance in this coming game. You have to take note. He's the only member, I'd say, from Execration that can withstand the damage output of NXP Solid, let alone execute them in the early stages of the game.
Yeah.
Well, there is already the existence of Roger, but I feel like Roger versus NXP Solid, the lineup of NXP Solid, I mean, is not gonna work out.
Yep. Right now, though, NXP Solid are going to be the ones to take that turtle once more, and there's not much that Execration can do about it. Waiting in. Chaknu is also... I mean, the early game is just not where Execration is going to flourish here, right? They have the claw. They must be aware. They want to go for it once more. 8-2 Max out of nowhere. Gets taken out there. Chaknu again. He's fronting like a tank, but definitely not one to... I don't know, man. I feel bad. I feel bad right now for this guy.
I guess the only explanation is that he is so used to being that tanky hero that when he played the Assassin, he thinks he's gonna be able to tank through it all. Unfortunately, that's not gonna be the case because of the early game damage output of NXP Solid is not gonna be enough for the tankiness, or the lack of tankiness, I mean.
Yeah, even the frontliners right now, they're gonna be taken out there by Yawi. Again, I was saying frontliners from NXP are very, very tough, but they also hurt like heck. And now, H2O not gonna be in time to save that. But again, it's looking still pretty good for NXP. They have pushed in a lot through that, and the waves just look a lot better for the blue side.
Oh man, looking really bad now for Execration when it comes to the farm. A 3,000 gold lead by an early game based lineup is actually good in these early stages. Even then, we have to take note, this is a Claude game.
Yeah.
The odds of the Claude winning in the late game is actually incredibly high compared to Lancelot. Then again, it also needs to think about the Garokacha. That's why I felt that there is a little bit of hole in the lineup of Execration, that when the late game does come, yeah, sure, Claude is king. But if Blade Armor is picked up by MB or by Renegade, it's going to suffer for sure.
And you have to note that those items really do just amp up the efficiency of that Garot Gacha, right? So you gotta be careful. And Chaknu, he can't do the things he's been doing, especially when those items really lock in. Right now, I think there's already a cursed helmet almost on MB. So you can't even go near this guy anymore. What more if you get stunned up like that? And Chester wants to go in for the dives even more. Dive in by MB again. He's so itching to pull that trigger. He does it way too early. And now even on the back foot, H2O, they lose one. But, you know, NXP doesn't look like they suffered that much.
This is because of the tempo that they are playing at. I like that they are using their ultimates when they can. Avatar of the Guardian and the Phantom Execution for sure. Those are local ultimates anyways. But I do want to take note is that NXP Solid are just playing their comfortable game. Like when H2O is farming like this, there's really no stopping him. I mean, Yaoi's not on a big ticket hero, but he plays it like a big one.
He really does. And here comes the big man team fight.
Oh,
Hate going in front, going for that like and pounds, and Yaoi just way too tanky to take here for this team. And the follow-up is real from Renegade. Going up front, MB as well. They're so confident. They want to go for the chase still. Very Cutie plays into it on the back line. Even the Selena, so hard to take down.
Was he able to get away? Wow, what a play from Benny Cutie, who actually went for Avarice, by the way.
Yeah.
Interesting name, because he needs to really be farming. I like the cooldown reduction, but I think in the latter stages of the game, might rethink that kind of item or emblem of choice.
No, that is wrong, actually. I think the damage output is going to suffer a lot in the late game. You're capped up. There's going to be a big one there, Phantom Execute, to try to go for the escape, but not going to be enough. Again, Chaknu is going to be the one to suffer because there is no solid frontliner here for Execration.
And H2O chose to move forward instead of backward. That's a very interesting decision for me. I think that his mindset was, might not be able to survive anyway, so why not just
go for it, right? I mean, that Phantom Execute, I think, could have still been used for the escape, but no, they wanted to go for at least something. And now, Lane's going to be suffering a little bit because of that. Sagitno, where are you going?
Oh.
This is such a weird place to be in at this point of the game. Balmon all alone goes for the execute. Not going to be enough. And the rest of the NXP squad is here to clean it up.
It's very tanky at this point. Of course, the helmet is not even going to die.
Wow.
Cavalry is in there. Execution is able to survive this. And because of 2 cores, might be poking around the Lord area. But I feel like it's not really a good decision for Execution. I think first-hand experience from actually contesting the Lord like this, from Zen Esports losing.
Yeah, they've been there. Yeah,
they've
seen
been
that.
there.
We've seen it firsthand. We know that just don't go for it if you're not sure of the enemy position. And that's exactly where they are right now with it. Feather airstrike canceled by MB.
Wow.
And the rest of the team is just diving in on here with everyone just trying to go and see if they can chase on the Renji. The poke damage is real. Sagitnu doesn't care. He's clearing the minion waves.
Now we can see that the Lord is going to be still surviving.
Oh, he's not done. Still wants to go for the chase here. That's really...
Man.
Sagitnu's the guy for the early game, right? He's got the early, the mid, and he has to really flex it. And he's doing that right now.
A little bit of lead from the side of NXP Solid. I think that that clock is ticking. Then again, if they do itemize perfectly, might be able to defeat the Execration. They have to take note one of the most improved items as well is the Antikyras. It's one of those classic items against the Claude.
Yep.
They've also factored in the fact that you can pick up blade mail or blade armor.
Dominance ice as well.
Dominance ice is also true.
Oh my gosh, seriously.
And you can really itemize against this Claude who opted to go for Avarice, and now Sagitnu is down for the count.
Sagitnu said, NXP said, you know what? You're a tough guy. Let's see if you can take this. That's a lot of damage going in. Oh my gosh, Chaknu, where did that come from?
My.
He takes down H2O, but again, the suffered losses is 2 people for Execration.
Oh my god, the heat is up. Execration of the back of Chaknu was able to fish that off, and now Chester
They're not done.
but Benny.
Benny Cutie, what are you doing? He goes down. There's not damage in that duet. It's not even blazing anymore. It's just hitting people and making them laugh. That is not where you want to be here if you are playing on that Claude.
You can see the weaknesses of the Claude with this kind of emblem. There's just not much damage, not much sustain, because I guess the lifesteal or the physical penetration isn't as good as for getting the killing spree or whatever else.
Yep.
Now the problem is Execration is going to have to defend against this Lord. They were able to reset it, actually,
keep
even with just
resetting it.
4 versus 5.
Right, now Chaknu doesn't have the execute. He's going to have to wait a little bit more before he can pull off another stunt like that. That's very unlikely. Now that NXP Solid has seen what this Natalia can do, people are going to buddy up, for sure.
That's right. And now they're
Trying to go for it again. Yaoi very low, and the dive in. That is a great Avatar the Guardian there for MB. Everyone's taken up and caught by surprise there. H2O still very much alive. They're very low HP though. So I don't know if they can still keep going, but looks like they're getting confident enough to zone out each and every one of the Execration members. 5,000 gold lead in a dream. Eto Max wants to go for the steal with a Farsa. Can he do it though?
Can he do it?
No! It's going to be taken. NXP going to be able to clean that up with another kill for Sagitnu. He wanted to go for the lethal counter there on the Lord. Not going to happen this time around.
Was also able to kill one of the members of Execration. That is going to amount to 4 total kills. As we can see the Gillette instant replay dance against Lord, around the Lord, and what a play from MB.
Man, MB. That was great decision making. Lethal counter already used in that, but to no effect.
Yeah. You can see that the clash is already practically over after connecting that one, because the AoE damage Thorn Rose as well as the Cutler Inferno. They have all the damage in the world to take down the members of Execration, and boy, oh boy, what a play from MB.
What a play. It was just not enough for these guys to have the Claude. And now the clock is almost over for this Claude of Benny Cutie. I think that's going to be it.
Let's see if they will make it happen in the defense.
Yep,
it's going to be incredibly hard still.
Yep, Sagitnu wants to go for it, but it's 1v4. And MB, he's already done there. Goes for the dive in on the back foot. H2O cleans up Chaknu. You can't do that again against me. No, sir. 2v4, 2v5. I think this might be it.
Yeah. But MB is 100% sure the MVP of this game. Without a place from the Gadokacha, this victory will not be possible. And that's game 1.
Gymnast.
And there's Gymnast.
That's game 1, ladies and gents. That was a quick game.
That was a quick game. Literally just stomping over the greedy core setup of the Execration. NXP Solid were able to win it all. I mean, win game number 1 because of the fact that they stuck to the easier route of this matchup. The double core setup from Execration was really greedy. It took a lot of farm before it will take a lot of farm, before they will be able to take over, and that did not happen at all.
At all. That's the problem with that. Again, there is a time where this lineup can fight.
Yeah.
It was at 20 to 25 minutes. It was just not going to happen in the early stages of the game. No matter how well Chakno plays, no matter how well they hold the early game, they're probably gonna fall, and that's just the problem. There's just too many people who need too much gold.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna get all that gold from?
And the thing is, the funnel strategy that we're talking about, that we've always talked about, will almost always win in the early to mid stages of the game. The problem with this is that the late game isn't that existent because the emblems weren't in perfect play for Execration.
Let's have a look at Butters. Maybe he'll have something to explain that to us. Take it away.
It's game number 1. And ano nga ba yung nangyari? It's all about pacing and scaling. And nakikita nyo naman yung connection ni Rene J dito. Nag-celebrate sila kasi sa kanila yung game number 1 eh. And, di ko alam yung dance steps yan eh. Pero yan na yan talaga yan. That is going to be your duo na nagpahirap ng buhay dito sa side na Execration. Now, let's hint into the items. Dito pala. Yan. Let's hint into the items para makita natin kung bakit nga ba nagkaroon ng malaking pacing issue dito yung side ng Execration. Now, if you would look at it, meron dalawang marksman dito yung side ng Execration. You have the Roger and you have the Claude on Benny Cutie and Hate respectively. Now, as you can see, mas mabilis nakaka-rotate dito yung NXP just because they have Yawi, they have H2O on Hilda and the Lancelot. And kung titignan natin, napakabilis nila mag-clear ng waves. And what was the plan for the side of Execration dito? It's to give Etomax yung mid lane para makuha niya yung items niya. Like Clock of Destiny, like Lightning Truncheon. But still, it wasn't really enough kasi sobrang daming ways ng NXP para talunin si Etomax doon sa may backline. And nandun din yung pana ni Chester, madali din pumasok doon si H2O, so it's not really going to be a problem for them. But the thing is, meron nagkaroon din ng tanking problem dito yung side ng Execration. In long term, sabihin na natin, in long fights na hindi talaga nila mabibigla yung NXP dito, they will always lack to sustain. And it was given to them naman by Sagitno. Pero kasi at times hindi pa rin enough yun eh. I mean, Chakno and the Natalia did great. That 8-minute pick-off, that 11-25-minute pick-off kay H2O could have really set them on their ways para manalo. The charts, stats, and everything else. Look at Rene J dito. Huwag natin pasinin yung mga bar. Let's look at the numbers. 51,000 damage, hero damage, ang na-deal dito ni Rene J sa kabilang team. So in terms of getting, ladies and gentlemen, yung mga maliliit na bagay dito for Rene J, just because double marksman setup yung ginawa dito na Execration with the Roger and Claude, naging libre si Rene J dito. At katulad nga sinabi ng mga casters natin, Rene J is the bomb. Kapag iniwan mo dyan si Rene J and for the longest time hindi mo siya pinansin, there's a time na sasabog na lang si Rene J sa mukha nyo, and that is going to be the deciding factor for the side of NXP. Turrets destroyed. Kung papansin nyo, at 8 minutes in the game, nakuha na ng NXP solid yung mid turret, and that really was the decline na nangyari sa side ng Execration. Ngayon, bakit nga ba yun yung decline? That was the time na nakuha din nila yung top turret, yung top tier 1 turret, and that is really the opening point para ma-secure na dito nung side ng NXP solid yung jungle na kalaban. Why is that important? Dahil nga po, doon sa mga areas na yon, doon kumukuha si Claude at si Roger ng kanilang mga farm. So, that's really going to hurt their cause, and that costed them the game. Let's head on to our smart highlights, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. And as you can see, there was a lot of emphasis dito for the teams na talagang kumuha ng early pacing. Kahit yung Execration dito, gusto talaga nila lumaban in a way. But still, the fact remains na it's not really the pacing na kailangan dito ng Execration eh. You can't really see Execration na lumalaban sila na sobrang aga dito unless sobrang ganda ng early game na kanilang mga marksman. And that's going to be the thing kasi si MB din dito may sarili din siyang sagot sa mga binabato dito sa side ng Execration just because everything is very physical onto the side of Execration. Yung Farsa nandyan din. Nakita nyo, lumilipad-lipad siya ngayon. But still, yun nga, Chakno was doing great. Hinahanap niya yung mga tamang targets. But still, you can't really convert it. Walang conversion nung mga nakikitang heroes na yon. Just because meron ding nangyayari dun sa may kabila kasi Yawi was doing his job as well as the Hilda. And to be honest, I would rather pick Hilda ngayon talaga in a way kung tank ang usapan lang dito. But that's my personal opinion. Now, clearly, as you can see, in terms of the fights, you can see talaga dito na may nagdudugo ang side ng Execration. You can't really blame that. Pero Rene J dito is going to be your player of the game. And what made him the player of the game dito? This one and this one. Pure consistency all throughout the matches. That is 51,000 damage dealt and damage received is 70k damage. That's really high for someone na syempre medyo nandun sa may side lanes at binibigyan lang ng onting tulong kahit papano. So, keywords natin dito. It's going to be pacing. Sana mas maganda yung sulat. Ano ba yung nangyayari dyan? And scaling. Tempo-wise, it really went to the side of NXP Solid. And that's the thing. When you get the Lancelot, pacing is on your side. Lagi yan. You have good wave clear. Pero sa side ng Execration, it was all about scaling. It was all about the delaying yung ginagawa dito na NXP. So, ano ba yun? It really was a factor na kailangan pa natin tingnan. So, as we head on, we are going to have ang usapang MPL natin dito. And syempre, the hunt is on. 7 players na nakakapasok sa ating 100 kill club. And that is going to be the milestone na hinahabol ng karamihan sa atin. Pero tingin nyo ba, sino yung player na magka-catch up or magti-take ng lead sa lahat ng yon? Share your opinions and get a chance to win skins worth 269 diamonds. Tignan natin yung mga opinion natin dito. We have John Russell Sevilla. Si Kartzi ang makakuha ng pinakamataas na bilang ng kills ngayong season at kayang umabot ng 200 kills ngayong season upang masira ang pinakamataas na kill record sa kasaysayan ng MPL. That is actually possible. Maraming salamat, John Russell Sevilla. Let's head on sa pangalawa, si Gerald Jimenez. JP ang makakuha ng pinakamataas na bilang ng kills ngayong season at kayang umabot ng 800. What a bold claim. 800 kills. Tignan natin, Gerald Jimenez. Willie De Luna, Cardzia makakuha ng pinakamataas na bilang ng kills ngayon season at kayang umabot ng 220 kills upang masira ang pinakamataas na kill record. 800 kills si JP kanina. Ito si Willie De Luna. Medyo binabaan niya ng onte. Naging 220 kills. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We do have our giveaway code right now. Nandyan yan? Okay na? Kuha mo na? Punta tayo doon sa isang bonus giveaway code. That is going to be here. Dahil sumali kayo doon sa mythical raffle draw natin. And we do have our link for our mythical raffle draw. So look at this right now, bit.ly MRD-W8. Pumunta kayo doon, kunin nyo yan, and that is going to be your mythical raffle draw link, and that is going to be very important for your side. Kailangan nyo makuha na yan. So, this is going to be the thing na kailangan nyo makita. Who will shine for game number 2? Malalaman natin yan just a bit. Back to you, casters.
Very interesting thoughts there from our analyst Butters, and no big drawings today. No, none of that.
It's just the first game, man.
Yeah,
it's just the first game. Don't worry. There will be a drawing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that maybe later on. But you know what? It's all business. For a boy, because this is really a big, serious matchup.
Man.
If they tie it up here, if NXP ties it up against Execration, we'll see each other in the playoffs.
Oh my God. That is going to be a sight to see. I think that the format of the playoffs, however, will not let us see another Execration versus NXP match, unfortunately.
That's the problem. This could be it.
This could be
the last time if either of them doesn't,
okay, I'm gonna try to quickly math my way in here. So I'm thinking about it, but then again, I like what Butters actually mentioned about shining in this game. Because that is one thing that we should be seeing on the side of Execration. I said before, Chakno, when he gets his heroes, he's going to pop off
He goes
for
nuts.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Consistent in the top spot. I think that does an impressive Natalia in the late game. But I think that Execution should be considering giving heroes that are very comfortable with Chakno. Because you're wasting one of the best talents when it comes to being the tank
For sure.
here in the Philippines.
I mean, any single one of them could have gone for Natalia in this game except for Chaknu.
That's right.
But considering the overall lineup of Execration there, it was one of the greediest lineups I've ever seen in a long time, right? But the goal lead at a lot of the times were only about 3,000, 4,000 gold.
That's
Considering their lineup, that's not big. They should be behind by like 10,000 or something, but they're not.
Yep.
Which means that Execration was doing something, right? Except for maybe the Avarice there on the Claude.
Yeah.
Except for that. Everything else was, I would say they were holding pretty steady. But again, they have to make some pretty radical changes to that lineup before it can become viable, at least for me. Because that did not look good.
They were, how to say this? They were lucky that MPL-PH were also trying out something else in their previous matchup. And unfortunately, this time it's a funnel strategy. Because the thing is, the last victory of Execration, it was against MPL-PH. The double core setup worked against a weird jungler type of strategy in a dual core in a way from MPL-PH. But this time, the funnel strategy, and as Omega showed us last week, their 4-0 performance against Bren and against their next opponent, which is BSB, just tells us the real story of Project Next.
That's right.
Standard funneled carries will almost always win you games.
Yeah, I mean, last week, the running trend about the top performing teams were just stick to what you know.
Just stick to what
just
you know.
stick to what you're
works.
known for.
Man,
Don't fix it if it ain't broken, right? So, anyway, speaking of broken, let's see if they're going to fix that last draft, because that was bad, as we head into Game 2.
I just want to say, Rockhart, unfortunately for the fans of Execration versus NXP Solid round number 3, it might not happen, or there is really just one chance that it can happen. So I'm looking at the playoff picture now. It seems like Execration might be going up against Omega in the playoffs.
Possibly.
And NXP Solid is projected to be facing up against Bren Esports in the playoffs. And for Execration to face NXP once again, it is possible, I'm telling you. But both Execration and NXP should win against their first round matchups.
Yeah, it has to be an upper bracket matchup, I think. Oh, no,
it's not. We don't have an upper bracket, lower bracket.
Right,
I'm telling you,
they
man,
I keep forgetting that. Yeah.
if Execration and NXP Solid wins against Bren Esports and Omega, respectively, that's Execration versus Omega and NXP versus Bren, by any miracle, they defeat those two titanic teams, there will be a matchup.
Yeah.
It's a big if.
Yeah, so many things. Again, most likely these will be finalized by next week, right? Of course. Next week is going to be delivering the actual
playoff picture
stuff, the picture of what playoffs is going to look like. But here on the draft, we see another Selena being let go here for NXP Solid. I feel like that is a huge mistake. Again, these guys just perform well. Even in the games that they lose, they perform well with the Selena. I just don't agree with letting that go. But again, this time around, Execration, they are looking like they're going back to form. These are the heroes that they know.
Yeah. You see that Roger is one of the priorities of Execration because this is the hero that counters probably the best carry in the game, which is Heesun Shin in the meta right now. And even if Lancelot is going to be picked up by NXP Solid, they have answers. The Ling is the choice for NXP Solid.
Pretty good choice.
Pretty good choice as well. I like the matchup. You know what? This happened before as well. Game 2 of Execration versus NXP Solid in their first matchup, it was a Ling versus Roger lineup when we said that NXP Solid is projected to be winning game number 2. And I think that they should be banning Kufra and Alice.
Please go ahead and ban
Solid.
those. Alice is not being given that much priority recently,
That's right.
but it's still very good in this lineup.
Definitely good. I think NXP solid. If they want to keep their heads, they're gonna ban Kufra as
Oh.
well as Alice. So we did say that the Kufra will be banned earlier. They ban it right now. I think the next step now is to ban the Alice, because if not, man, I'm telling you, this is just a repeat.
It's just
of
going to be it.
of the previous matchup.
And that's going to be basically what they're comfortable with, right? Benny Cutie really likes that Alice as well. Man, there goes the Kufra. Again, the tank picks for Yaoi are not as solid as we initially thought. He picks a lot of unique heroes, but the win rate of those heroes not that good.
That's right.
Let's see if that's going to be the case here as well. I still think the Atlas, despite the nerfs on the Atlas, still pretty much a viable thing here for NXP, if ever.
For NXP, what they have to do now is to not ban the Atlas, like you said.
Yep.
Because they have the first pick at the next phase. So instead, they ban Valir.
That's good. That's a pretty good
And I'm telling
deal,
you,
I guess.
Execration will just pick up the Alice. I'm 100% sure.
For sure. This is
Or
a
if
repeat.
not, Execration will just pick up the Atlas and Luyi combo that they were successful with in the previous.
That was so fun to watch, by the
So
way.
fun.
That Luyi. I mean, Luyi right now is at what? 100% win rate for NXP. It's also a great counter pick.
Yeah, nice ban on the Gatalkacha for Execration. It should really be bad for their lineup. Now NXP solid. I think they have to snatch the Atlas right now.
Yep, do it. Just
do
man.
it because you don't want to give it to Execration. Execration will just pick that up. Honestly,
I'm gonna be so happy for the Luyi pick if ever, on the last pick.
That's
On
right.
the last rotation. Because both of these teams have pretty much a good history.
Yeah.
Both of them have 100% win rate on that hero.
That's right.
That is very good.
And Execration played it twice back to back. It's nice to see. Love to see if the Louis will be picked up. Or no, that was picked up 3 times already for Execration.
Yes.
So it was 3 times.
And for Execration, that's 100% win rate for 3 games. That's saying
Not
something.
tell you.
Saying
There
something.
it is. So
All right.
I think that you go Louis Atlas or Alice Louis.
Alice Luyi.
Yeah.
Makes more sense because if you go for Luyi Atlas,
You're gonna force the Cho to be a sideline.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't want that. Now, let's see if that's going to be the case here.
Or maybe Execration is considering Rafaela.
I want to see Project next hero, though.
There it is.
There you
Yeah,
go.
oh, man.
Oh, you called it. You called it.
Called it.
I mean, it just makes so much sense. It's like a sin if they don't pick it, right? That's
Absolutely.
just it. Now, for NXT Solid, it's a little bit more difficult for me. The counter pick here is, first of all, this is such a tanky lineup, right? This is a tanky mobile lineup because even if you have like an Atlas or right there or a Roger, it can get easily mobilized by this Luyi.
That's right.
That is why it's so
That's
good. And the win rate is something you cannot ignore for these heroes.
I wonder what the side lane, the aspect side lane here for NXT Solid is going to be. I think it'll just settle for a Balmond or something like that.
I don't know,
Popo-
man. Their side lanes are so weak.
They
right
need
now.
somebody to stay in front of Execration.
Oh,
instead they go.
No, I don't think so.
They
I mean,
go
I like
Hurricanes.
the hero itself, obviously, but really? Okay, I mean, we don't want to judge, obviously. NXT Solid, they won game 1. They have the bragging rights here. Who am I? Who am I to judge? But so far, because of this draft, they're going to have such a difficult laning phase.
They're so squishy.
Or sorry,
inside
team
of-
fight.
Yeah.
Their team fights
They have very good pickoffs, however.
very good laning.
Very good
rather,
laning.
But the team fights are going to be a big problem for me.
What I would say about NXP Solid signup is that if they do just capitalize on their pickoffs, pickoff capability will be extremely good for the team. However, I would say that if they focus...
Yaoi on the Selena?
Okay. So again, if they focus on just trying to team fight against Execration, they're gonna lose for sure.
Yep.
I love that we're going to see just a revamp of the Execration's mindset there. Let's not try the 2-core setup anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go for the standard 1-3-1 or the funneled quote unquote carry. It's not a strategy. Funneling is a verb. But yeah, the funneled strategy, I'd say. Whatever it is.
I would say it works. They have laners that can sustain. The problem is, again, a lot of their heroes are reliant on the itemization for them to actually win the game for them. So a lot of these heroes for the side of NXP will need to complete at least those Blade Despairs.
Absolutely.
Before they can actually do damage. On the other hand, throw those ultimates down, and you already got a show here for Exe.
Oh man. And I want to see Execration really fight against Nexplay Solid in a very competitive match. I want to see them try to go for those wonderful diversion into the Atlas combo that they are so good at. And actually, just the Fatal Links into the Duality combo is already very devastating in almost any stage of the game. And for sure, we might see that in action as Execution takes on Nexplay for Game 2.
Yep, this Game 2 is going to be really hot, ladies and gents. Sit down and relax, and it's going to be a very bumpy early game, for sure. No big invades. Yeah, right? No big invades happening yet. This is a 2-2-1 setup here for Execration, and they're happy with it. 1-2-2 on the other hand, though. Looking good.
So they're given free EXP to the Louis, as we can see in the middle, while Hates, the jungler, or the dedicated funnel carry for Execration, started onto the top lane to get the Crammer so that gets his level 2. So what it did was to go to the EXP lane so that he will be able to get to the level 2 as quickly as possible, so that when they do try for the buffs, they already have good experience to take it on the carry. That's number one. And number two is that the timing is perfect for the first round of Turtle.
Yep, that's going to be about the early game for NXP. Expect a lot of just assassinations coming in here.
That's right.
Chester and 2 assassins set up basically for NXP. Wants to go in for the early game. Hate going to have a hard time for that. Itomax spending all of his mana just to push back the red side. And again, over and over again, this is what I'm talking about, guys.
Man,
expect this to keep happening. What's happening to Benecutie today?
Well, unfortunately, he doesn't have the good matchup. It's Joe, side lane. As much as we are hyping this support duo from Execration, I would rather have Execration pick up the Alice just to stabilize that lane. Imagine if that was just flowing blood, just keep on spamming it out from long distance. He might have been dove by NXP Solid, but unfortunately it didn't happen.
Yeah, you could stay on the tower for a long time.
Yep, that's right.
Natalia won't go near you, but the problem is right now, to get those gold, you have to show yourself on the lane. And in this situation, it's just bad for business.
And Chester on the Natalia want to die for Benecutie once again. They just will make it really bad for this Dragon Boy Joe to stay in lane top.
I like the emphasis on this skin. I like it. Maybe we can have those for our show.
You already have it, Heart.
And here we go. Once more, I like it. I like the NXT game plan to go just dip in whenever you can. Just go near an enemy, just threaten them. That could signal a go signal anytime. Like right now, look at that. One trap meant that 2 people from NXP could dive in on a target.
Yeah.
And that's not how you want to play if you're Exe. This is scary for them.
You know what? Most of the time it's rock, papers, and scissors, but the toss-up between pick-off team versus a team fight team is almost always about execution.
Oh,
and as good as you can say that it's easy to just say that, okay, just group up and you will not be defeated by a pick-off team. But a pick-off team is going to be happy when you're grouping up because they can split the map against you and force that rotation. That's why I feel that when it comes to debating between which is a better team composition, the pick-off type or the team fight type, I would rather say that pick-off type compositions will win the mental battle easier.
For the most part.
For the most part. But if you are rigid with your teammates, you can win as a team fight kind of. Like we're seeing for Execution.
I think that's what they tried to do there. 3 people going in hard on Renegade, but it's not going to be happening. At this point, they just had to back off. Even after Dark Knight falls, there's just no way they could take that. And speaking of taken, NXP took the tower on the top lane as well. So we were talking about the team fighting lineup and versus the pick-off lineup.
Type,
Obviously, there's also a timer involved here.
That's also true. That is also true. And one thing I always say about teamfight compositions is that no matter what happens in the early game, if you just land that massive teamfight in the late game, you're going to be able to come back from whatever deficit that you have. And Execration is known to really last those victories, right? Those kind of combat potential.
Oh, look at this, though. They're not done. Hey, he wants to go for the kill. Chester finally gets shut down there. Chester has been doing everything he wants against Ecomax. Here's the revenge play, though, from Renegade. The Poison Singers actually missed. Hate with the movements here. That'll be beautiful.
Oh, my God.
And Sagitno takes up.
Oh!
What the heck was that? Chakno under the tower, still fighting under pressure. The team fight is real at 5 minutes in the game. A triple for that Yuzhong.
That was such a good juggling coming out from Execration. Team fight prowess. You can see that it started with hate and it ended with this wonderful ultimate coming up from Chakno.
How does this guy know when to go in like that? That was out of nowhere.
Even the layering of the stuns is just way too good from Execration. Talking about teamfight, and that's a teamfight for you. NXP Solid, they were the ones who went in one after the other. And Execration punished them for it.
That was explosive. If we're talking about mental games now, if I was NXP Solid, I would think twice before going near this duo here, or this trio in the mid lane.
Man, you play a lot of Yuzong. How good was that? Because I felt that, for me personally, that was one of the better Yuzong plays that I saw now.
For sure, but yeah, right now, it's going to be Chester very low. Everyone's on the hunt here. NXP, they want to keep him alive, but Execration, they're capitalizing off of that momentum, as we said about them. Sagitno, though, getting picked off on the bottom side. I was saying, as we were talking about there, Yuzhong, it actually felt really good. The timing was just perfect, and the distance between the towers and the skills.
That's really true. Like,
it was
he knows how to calculate this hero and probably played a lot of the hero. You can see that in full action now for Execration. They have taken over the lead, Mr. Rockhart, and I think that is off of that wonderful victory.
Yeah.
And now we can see for Atlas, can I really feel how, they say this, squishy he feels compared to the previous patch as
there you go.
Easy kill on Natalia from Benny Cutie.
Yeah, Benny Cutie looking a lot better here on this show. In the later parts of the game, I mean, early game, he was just getting beaten senseless by NXP. But then again, that's the advantage that you get when you pick assassins. They just love that early game. They thrive on the pressure. Yeah. But after it eases up, man, you gotta know the teamfight team is gonna get it back. They're gonna kick back hard.
As soon as the Calamity Reaper was picked up by Yaoi, Benny Cutie also picked up the Blade of Despair. This makes it so that he's always a constant threat now. Good to say that NXP Solid still has an important teamfight tool, which is the Dark Knight Falls.
That big team fight that we're talking about still going on the side of NXP here, just because of the mispositioning happening here.
What
it's an audition, my friend. One by one, the Execration members fall, and all of a sudden, we're gonna have an even gold here in the team. Again, once more, Benny Cutie, he's out of place here. Too many people just looking and guarding that turtle buff there for H2O. He picks it up, and we are back on even Steven.
I want to say that NXP Solid found the better fight. As you said, it's an audition one by one from Execration.
We go another one here for that Black Dragon for Chester out of position once more. MB, where are you going? Where are your teammates? They're nowhere to be found. No need for the kick. He's just going to get taken out by that Loyi duality all over again.
Well, then again, that was a lot of cooldowns on the side of Execration. Not their teamfight tools. And NXP Solid might feel confident in the next clash if they do want to go for the pickoff. This is also the timing where Hate is trying to go for the farm. I guess that NXP Solid can abuse this fact. Again, this game, it's all about who executes the better team fight. For the side of Execration, it's a full 5v5 that 5v5 fight they want. For NXP Solid, they want to go for those pickoffs or those I guess the term is a serial type of killing for NXP Solid.
Right. There you go. You just want to slow it down a little bit and take it a chunk at a time, you know. Take that 1v4, 1v3, take that 2v3. You don't want to go 5v5 yet, right? You want to do that later on when you're already super secure about your lead. But even then, even if you're like 10,000 gold ahead.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, look at that. The teleport play on the back foot. Look at like this. Surprise!
Hello.
Coming in from Execration. The fight is here for NXP though. Tower goes down as well. The Black Dragon still going on the chase here for Renegade. Poison Stinger's not going to be mattering that much. Look at that. Doesn't scratch that Dragon in armor. Still going for the chase. And that's going to be Hate going ham once more on the back foot. H2O still fighting off, but gets kicked up. And that's a triple for the Roger.
Man, you know what? The MVP of the fight, this is weird. I'm about to say it was Roger.
It was.
Because of the fact that he did not focus on heroes. When there was a clash happening on the turret, he took down the turret. And all of a sudden, NXP Solid tried to run away because they know that they just can't fight.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, it was just out in the open, free hitting Roger. Like, it hurts.
Man,
it really, really hurts.
So I'm sure that the execution were really good.
Or
right?
probably, yes.
It is. I mean, my guy's skill player, but I think the smartest play out there, the most clutch or cold-blooded play, I'd say, from Execration was Hate taking down the turret. Why is it important?
So big, right?
Because it literally, when NXP Solid saw that their turret was down, they ran away from Execration. They were terrorized by Execration. And them running away meant that Execration felt confident into setting up for a good play. NXP Solid were just separated, and Execration took advantage of that.
Yeah.
While it's true that the Fatal Links was good, the Dragon Form was good, that cold-blooded play from Hate was just immaculate to think about. And he is really showing up. From the previous series of Execration versus NXP Solid, Hate was hated a little bit, was bashed a little bit. But he's saying, look at me now. I'm Hate.
Right. I mean, the mindset there for Execration was to dominate, and it was felt by NXP. That's why they also, when they saw that their turret was down, they were like, oh my gosh, we have to back off. We're not in a good spot anymore. And that's the time that Execration went in for the kill. And it was beautiful. I gotta say, it was beautiful to watch.
It was beautiful. I love that the Atlas is using the perfect match to step on traps. I mean, Minesweeper things for this Atlas, and he's not taking much damage because again, it's a perfect match.
Yeah, even though they did give away that Selena, which I said was a very big, big
oversight,
give.
I'd say.
It did go to Yaoi, which is a bit different from the way that Chester plays it.
Whoa.
Falls though for 4 members. Oh my gosh! Even the Dark Knight Falls could not save Renegade from that certain 3v1.
Ito Max Louis. It's a sight for sore eyes, man. Chang will try to go for the steal, Chester. But Chester is not going to be able to make it. Man, ito Max, the decision making from this Louis, this is already a threat. I think the teams should be looking to target, ban this specific hero for Execration.
Yep. Looks like it's going to be another big Lord take here, ladies and gents. You're getting ready for that half HP mark. Everyone from NXP, they're still waiting. Ben Cutie takes a pick off. No more Natalia means that's going to be it. No big visions going to come in. But MB goes in for the hook. It's not going to be enough though. Everyone's low. And it's going to be Sagitnu with the finish off. And H2O goes down as well. 4 members down with the Lord walking on your side. That's it.
Renegade trying to run away from this, but I guess that's will
game.
be chased down by Acho. And unless he gets the ultimate up, it's not going to survive.
Not even. I don't think so. That's going to be it.
It is it.
That's the ace. That's the wipeout. And we have game free for sure.
Classic as it sounds, we expected this to happen, and we did say that it is going to take a lot of those good diversion plays from the Louis to save this one. Chester trying to save it, but not going to be the case as Execration ties it up against NXP. And I think that for the longest time, the El Clasico was given to either Bren versus Signal or Onyx versus Aura or Sunsparks. But this time, It's a new Classico.
They're the new El Clasico.
The new El Clasico. Execration versus NXP.
Just beating each other senseless, right? And I have to say, between the draft between these two, what Execration did on game 1 is almost exactly what NXP did on game 2.
That's right.
They're not putting their best players and their best heroes.
That's weird, right?
What is happening? The teams are trying to pull this off in very sensitive, very high impact games such as this.
I want to say, NXP Solid had a chance to really outdraft Execration in that regard. Like, their 4th slot should have been the Atlas. Give it to Yawi and take it away from Chakno. That's hitting multiple birds in one stone, right? But they didn't. Unfortunately, it was given to Execration, and the Louis was immaculate. I think Etomax Louis is one of those signature heroes, I'd say. Signature player-to-hero combinations that teams should be respecting from now on.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's going to be a classic as well for Etomax here on heroes like this. The Farce is already good.
Yeah.
Valier's pretty good, but man, Loyi is a different level. So let's go ahead and hear it from our resident analyst Butters. What you got for us, bro?
And to be honest, masaya siya kasi pupunta tayo ng game number 3. And to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, kailangan natin ipakita dito kung sino nga ba yung mga nag-shine dito sa ating game. And it's going to be the connection. Ang tugtog po niyan, TikTok na yan, happy birthday. At yan yung mga mukha ng tito ko pagka medyo napapa-aerobic sila. Yan. Yan. Ganyan na ganyan yan. Pero titigilan natin yun doon. So, what really happened there? Bakit nga ba nabaliktad ang tides dito para sa side ng NXP? Let's look at the items dito. Mamaya na tayo pumunta dun sa mga intricacies and all that stuff. Chester dito really did a great job controlling yung bottom lane. It was the Renny J and Chester connection. Ang pinakusahan nila nung una, si Benny Cutie. Because as we all know, syempre, papasinin nyo dyan, Cho is actually a bit, sabihin natin, mahihirapan siya in the lane dahil sa isang Natalia and sinamahan pa siya ni Renny J na talagang pinahirapan nila yung buhay ni Benny Cutie dito no early stages of the game. But that changed nung tumagal-tagal ng konti as Benny Cutie has the capability to take down Chester as well. So it's a give and take relationship para dito sa dalawang players na ito. Sa Gitno, that is the Dominance Ice. Sobrang ganda ng pagkakapick niya yan. He knows that almost everyone here, lahat ng course dito is relying purely on physical damage. So that item right there, and kay Chakno din na merong ding passive yung kanyang Atlas na pabagaling attack speed ng kalaban, it really took a toll dito aside ng NXP Solid. Let's head on doon sa ating post-game stats. Let's just check the bars dito kung ano nga ba yung pinapakita nila. Benny Cutie, I would like to commend him kung paano niya binawi yung sarili niya dito. You really have to look at it in a way na nag-swap pa sila ng lane ni Yuzhong at the 6th minion wave. 6th minion wave. So, ibig sabihin dito, Benny Cutie didn't really get a lot kasi napatay siya ng 2 beses doon sa may laning stage niya. Pagdating ng 6th minion wave, pinaakyat siya doon sa may XP lane. So, it was a really hard game for Benny Cutie pero nabawi niya. And props to Yawi and Chester and Renny J dahil nagawa nila yon. And I think that's the thing about Cho players din na alam din nila kung paano counterin mismo yung favorite nilang hero. Eto Max, just playing one hell of a Louis game din. Alam na alam niya kung paano talaga aabusuhin yung diversion. But it was a Gitno, Chakno, and Eto Max talaga yung nagdala doon. Let's head into the replays. Tignan natin dito kung paano nga ba nabaliktad dito ng Execration etong larong to. As you can see here, nandun lagi sa baba si Chester kasi alam niya doon din nakapwesto yung side dito ni Benny Cutie. So what happened was, lagi nilang pinupuntahan yan and they always try to go for the kill. And ang pambruce ko nila dito is purely damage. Chester here was really active dun sa mga first few minutes of the game. Pero pagdating natin ng 5-minute mark, is going to be the game changer. Although hindi talaga yun yung bagay nagpapanalo sa kanila, but still, it put them back on track. As you can see, nag-swing na yung gold dito pabalik sa side ng Execration. So it was really good yung gold lead dito ng NXP Solid. At that point on, it was at 2K. So ibig sabihin na balik lang nila yon because of that one good team fight na nakuha nila dito. Although NXP Solid had moments of brilliance din kung papansinin mo, but still, it was really the tanks na nakaset up. I would like to give my props to MB for setting up a lot of the kills para sa kanyang team. Pero it was Execration's setup na nagpapanalo sa kanila. And if you would look at this, yung ginawa ni Chakno dito, he went in for that ultimate para hindi makapag-retribution siling. So that was a heads-up play na kailangan nyo bantayan. And that was a retry deny para dito sa ating Chakno Atlas. I'm speechless dun sa ginawa niya, pero ito, the player of the game is going to be sa Gitno. And ito nga sinabi natin, you have to shine. But letter B to. Hindi, mali. Yan. You have to shine. You have to shine. And yun yung pinakita ni sa Gitno dito. And what it takes to actually, what it takes to actually win yung mga ganitong laban, you have to go out of your comfort zone. Kailangan mo ipakita dito na may iba pa akong ibubuga, and yun yung X factor na pinakita dito ni sa Gitno. Very well played from this man. Kakaiba ang galawan. And that is going to be it for our analysis. Punta naman tayo sa usapang MPL. Siyempre, madami nang nakapasok sa 100 kill milestone. This regular season, actually, 7 na nga sila. Pero, sino nga ba yung tingin yung player na makaka-catch up pa or makaka-take ng lead para dito sa ating kill count? Share your opinion and get a chance to win legendary skins worth 269 diamonds. #BeLegendary. Tignan natin kung ano yung mga opinion nyo. Si John Carl J. Vasquez Bermudez, napakahaba ng pangalan mo. Si H2O ng NXP Solid ang makakuha ng pinakamataas na bilang ng kills ngayong season at kayang umabot ng 200 upang masira ang pinakamataas na kill record. Yes, he's one of the frontrunners para dito sa top kills na yon, and that record is within reach. Kayang-kaya talagang sirain yan. Gerald Jimenez, Kurt Z ang makakuha ng pinakamataas na bilang ng kills ngayong season at kayang umabot ng 718 upang masira ang pinakamataas na kill record. Nice! 718. Kanina 800 eh. Tingnan naman natin dito, yung pangalawa, si Joshua Brazil. Si Hajisi, wow! First time na nabanggit si Hajisi. And that is going to be a good opinion para sa akin kasi Hajisi is actually a very good player din. Ang makakuha na pinakamataas na bilang ng kills ngayong season at kayang umabot upang masira ang pinakamataas na kill record sa kaysaysayan ng MPL. And those are good answers. Ang lupit nyo. At dahil malupit kayo, meron kaming giveaway code para sa inyo. Yan sa may baba. Yan, ubos na yan, Matik. Nakita nyo na eh. Doon tayo sa isa pa. Whoop. Bonus giveaway code. Nandiyan na yan kasi mabait kayo. At 13K, halos, 13K plus ang sumali sa ating Mythical Raffle Draw. Hindi mo alam yung Mythical Raffle Draw, no? Sige, pakita natin yung link. For week number 8, this is the Mythical Raffle Draw. Visit bit.ly/mrd-w8 para makita nyo yung dapat nyo sagutan nyo lang yan at para makasali kayo doon sa Mythical Raffle Draw. 5 skin ang pinamimigay dyan. Kaya, Lods, paying skin. Ayos ba yun? So, that is going to be it for our segment. Ibabalik na natin sa ating mga casters para hindi na tumagal to. Casters, take it away.
I really like Butters' energy today, right? It feels different. His hair looks kind of different as well. Coming into this game, ladies and gents, we are in game 3. Mr. Valdez really shown today. Right?
Definitely.
His influence is very much felt. The commissioner.
Commissioner. What do you call this? The fake commissioner? Or
the hidden commissioner.
The hidden commissioner.
Right?
Yeah.
Of
the people's
esports.
commissioner.
The people's commissioner.
Whatever.
Basically, this game is stocks for this guy. His stocks on this game is very much high.
That's
you know?
right.
And I like it. I like that we're getting into game 3, even though I was super, I would say, triggered by that draft there by NXP. I felt like they could have gone for. Man, it just felt like it. I played on
You
my.
just literally have admitted that I'm triggered on this.
I'm
right?
so triggered because of the draft. Man, what's up with that?
Yeah.
They
So,
could have gone classic NXP and they could have won 2-0.
this is the problem if you don't have that solid coach, right? You tend to overreact to things. I felt that NXP thought that they will be Natalia instead.
Natalia.
Right? So
Right.
the idea is maybe XP Solid don't want to face the same thing over and over again. That's why they try to deny pick it away from their opponents. And sometimes you tend to forget stuff. Believe me, even if you're a team that picks up the Atlas a lot, you will forget it if you don't have a straight up plan. If you don't have like a checklist beside you. Unfortunately, for teams that don't have the best of the best when it comes to coaching staff, they tend to forget a lot of stuff.
Yeah, man. The biggest, those factors, right? These are the factors that our viewers don't actually see every day.
That's right.
Maybe the best they can do is catch a glimpse of it when we're showing the player cams, but
Yeah.
overall, guys don't. It's very difficult to put into words the amount of impact, importance of these staffs
Definitely.
coaching to these teams.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, perhaps you will be great. I mean, you wake up one day and you'll remember everything in your head. Your mind palace is off the charts, right? As a coach or as a drafter or a team. But that rarely happens. And honestly, some of the coaches, I think the players that this thing existed.
Yeah.
This is something you need to think about.
You were really good that time, right, in this hero, and
exactly.
this is what we've been practicing. You gotta remember our practice,
remember everything.
right? And it's very big.
Yep.
It's a very big deal. Now we are in the draft here for Game 3 for this very heated matchup. I mean,
Whoa!
first pick Roger. I don't understand the importance of the Roger at this point.
Whoa.
That's way too much highlight, too much emphasis. First pick Selena would have been better for me. First pick Ruby would have been great, but what is NXP up to?
They are overreacting to Execration.
Way too much, right? Oh
Look
my
at this. They banned the
gosh.
Yuzong. I understand. They
That's
banned
fine.
Uranus. I understand
Yeah.
that. Taking the Roger out from Execration. Well, we did see Execration pick it up back-to-back games.
Mm-hmm.
Now they pick it up for themselves. This is literally the trend from previous. Was it? No, it was Ling that was NXP solid played in that. Anyways, I just want to say, Execration, I love that they picked up the Ruby because NXP Solid will be really strong with Roger plus Ruby combo. At least they do have that equalizer. Now, XP Solid, they are going to take the Hilda this time. Next Execration, they don't have access to the Cho. They don't have the Thams as well because they themselves have banned it. So I wonder what is going to be the decision from Execration. They're going to pick up the Ling this time. Or
Yep.
maybe a Hufra.
Most likely, that Kufra, now that it's available, is very much open for the taking here, and getting that to Comfort Heroes is going to be a big deal here for Execration.
Maybe I'm looking at either Kufra or Atlas
Yeah.
for Execration in this third pick.
No, I don't know if they're gonna do it right here. Maybe later, but right now they might want to go for the core still. I feel like they still want to go for the core because that's gonna be the next target of NXP Solid's bans
So
for
they go
sure.
Ling.
And they go for the Ling.
Yeah.
And that's just running the risk of getting banned out. So they have to pick it up on the third. Now, let's have a look and see what the tanks setup what the tank situation is gonna be like. Because right now, NXT Solid, they have a very tough lineup, I have to say.
Yeah, it is. I like the ban on the Kufra. I respect the decision from Execration to pick up the Ling instead of the Atlas because, like you just said, they don't want to be settling for other cores.
Yeah.
Just because XP Solid banned out the Ling. Now, the scary thing, however, for Execration is that what if NXP Solid just straight up bans the Kufra as well as the Atlas and they are left
without a tank.
And they will be forced into picking the Natalia once again. We don't want to see that.
We keep going into this pit where we don't have a tank and we have a Natalia instead.
Yeah.
And teams don't know how to do what to do with it.
They banned it out. At least
At
there's
least.
that.
Oh my god, thank you. At least.
Thank you.
Because
So that's definitely an Atlas ban. There it is.
for Atlas, just like you said,
Oh man.
Now what you gonna do? What's Execration gonna do here?
So I think you pick up Garakacha.
Franco!
Oh man.
This is
I love it.
interesting.
You know
Franco.
what this will do?
Yeah.
It will just reset the buffs.
Over and over again.
It will reset the buffs.
We're back there. We're back there in that
Definitely,
situation.
because this is I would say this is twice or even thrice as devastating as compared before the reset of the Franco, because again, the tides have been different. Only one retribution, you can have multiple retributions, but you only have one dedicated jungler.
And after the minion gets hit with a skill, you know what? The toughness, it increases. It takes so much more time for the buff to get taken out there.
For NXP Solid, they need a solid knockup or a stun against the Ling, and as well as this against this Franco. So they go high because they need to cancel that bloody hunt or the. There it is, Alice, right? Instant
Finally there. That's what I was hoping that they would go for, and they did it. So they got it. They got a pretty well-rounded lineup.
That's right.
I would say this is even too tanky of a lineup, but it has damage.
Might be too much,
right?
It
has damage.
I think you go get that catch now for Execration. Wine one. All right, now going back to the. I think it makes sense.
All right, dual core setup for Execration again.
Man, this is.
I have to say, I don't like it. I don't like this Execration lineup at all. I mean,
I do feel why you don't like it, because it's way too greedy once again.
Way too greedy.
NXP Solid, probably the only fault that I'm looking at now is that they don't have the best when it comes to like burst.
Yeah, burst. Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. Like, okay, good job. You got a tanky lineup, but where's your damage going to come from after the last Insanity? After the Alice? Like, who else is going to do damage? You're going to have to rely on H2O.
Yeah.
And Execration knows that.
Honestly, if Execration picked up the Baksha as their last offlaner, that would
might have been better, right? But now Execration,
or a Jawhead. Honestly, Jawhead would devastate the lineup of Nexplay Solid.
Exactly. But instead, now they have 1-1 that's a Ling.
When I asked Execration, Mr. Rocker, about their decision of taking the 1-1 and giving Benecutie these marksman type of heroes, they said that they trust Benecutie so much.
It's all about trust then.
Yeah, and they know that Benecutie will be one of the best side laners now if they give him the access to these cores. And I just hope that they put their trust in the right place. This time, man, it's not the easiest of lineups for Execration. However, it is incredibly strong in the late game. There's not much control for Nexplay Solid in the late game. But early game, man, it's going to be very, very strong.
Good luck for them getting this game into the late game. Let's go in the last game for this series. NXP Solid. I'm not even surprised about the game 3, man. That's just how it goes between these two teams. That's just how it is. And here we go.
All right, so they are given a lot of
maximum control on the mid lane.
I like it. That's how you get to at least level 2 territory. Akai is gonna be helping the jungler. You know, take note. Akai is one of those heroes that actually deal a lot of damage to his jungle creeps.
Yep, and the jungle creeps are going to be surprisingly not touched that much by Chaknu on this Franco.
You can see now, even with just a little bit of moves from NXP Solid, they're leading. This is really the problem with the dual core setup. I always say, early game is really bad.
Yeah.
Unless you are able to last a long time in the side lanes. Maybe we'll have a good time.
Yeah, most likely that's the target as well for Execration. Just stay on your lanes. You don't need to invade.
That's right.
You don't need to fight in the early game. All right, guys, let's just try to not die and not give these tanks even more tankiness. Let's not give H2O any reason to go out of the lane. Let's just give them the normal farm, and we should be fine in the late game. That's what they're thinking.
Even now. Very scary duo, by the way, from Execration with this Franco as well as the Atlas. But even scarier is this Akai plus the Hilda when it comes to those little skirmishes in the early stages of the game. Right? That's one thing that Execration needs to respect, I'd say.
Yeah, you don't want to disrespect that Hilda as well, right? It's a tanky hero, but the damage output and the chase potential is real.
Absolutely.
Especially if Yawi gets a lot of stacks on this Hilda.
Yep.
And that's going to be a big problem later on. No ultimate means no lockdown, but Itomax is going to be able to dash on out of there. Most likely going to go down. And looks like Blender is going to be the one to execute that guy. Very easily taken out here.
Blender on point. Just enough damage for that. For Execration, I think that
Maximum
they're
range, yeah.
maximum range. I think they're happy with this Sling as well as this one. Has got the Electro Flash. I want to say that Manjin is happier by the days.
Seems to
passing
be.
by.
Yeah, seems to be. Just how you want to play it. And again, Hate in the battle here is between the experience and the levels and the items of Hate versus H2O. This side lane 1-1 is just there to absorb everything. He's gonna last hit, man.
Yep.
Absorbing everything until the later parts of the game.
Yeah,
And don't expect the 1-1 to participate until like 10 minutes, at least 8 minutes.
Some movements now for the Franco in the middle, as well as the Turtle. That's I'd say one of the priorities for both teams.
Yep. Turtle is coming in here soon, but the buffs are just spawning here for Execration, so they will just relegate to the Gohan for the buff takes for the meantime, and they'll be fine. But NXP, they want to form that screen, that block, like zone defense eventually. Right away. So,
man, I want to see the matchup between this one and as well as this. That's okay.
Okay. That's what you should do. That's what Renegade should keep doing here. Do as much damage as you can, but if you can't kill the 1-1, go back. Don't give any kills to it.
Probably one of those marksmen that can really thrive against the Alice.
And there you go. That's going to be Turtle going over to that lane. Going to be taken out right away by NXP, and that's going to be a big problem. The problem is, how do you run away from this NXP lineup? The duo that's going on hard. And that's a double. That's a double for H2O.
A total of 3 kills. Make that 4.
Oh my gosh. Seriously.
We did say that NXP solid when it comes to the early stages of the game. They have such a strong composition, but man.
But you're going to get massacred if everyone's like going in at one time. Like, that was so bad.
I like the decision from Chakno to flicker in and just bite down that H2O Roger. Because the idea is you don't want to get the kill. You just want to stop him from popping the retribution.
Benny Cutie gonna be so low here. 4 people waiting for him. Forced to flicker out. Chakno pulls back Yawi. At least they get 1. I don't think they're gonna get more here. But again, mission was successful somehow for Execration to go for that defense.
Gillette instant replay of the Turtle. As you can see, Chakno tried to control the Roger so that the retribution will not be used. However, a wonderful initiation from Akai with that Hurricane Dance paved the way for NXP Solid to just eat up the life out of Execration, I mean.
Yep, and NXP, they are ahead by 2,000 gold, so they're definitely coming out strong here.
Is that Rapid Boots I'm seeing in the
I think that
Franco?
is Rapid Boots. Yes, I believe so.
Wow.
You want to go for that instant.
Movement speed, man.
Yeah, and he was also...
There it is!
Oh, there you go, finally. Gets a very good hook in between the minions, and the arrow hits again! Hello, that's a double for E2 Max on that Selena.
Man, I wonder how far Execration can hook their opponents. Like, there is that Ruby. There is that Franco. Whoever gets stunned here by the arrow of Execration.
That's it. That's a sure hit. That's a sure hook, rather.
And he's gonna die away from his teammates by a mile, I'd say.
I like that we brought up the boots selection, by the way. Franco's boot selection is just that.
Yeah.
Chakno also played boots, the rapid boots on that Atlas, so he really wants to go straight for the engages. That's just his playstyle.
That's just how he is. That's Chakno.
Yeah.
What's to bully you? It's not about stats or whatever. It's all about just trying to be...
Getting into the battle right away. Getting there first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy who always has a meeting. He's always in a hurry.
In a hurry, yeah. Looks like it.
One of the most workaholic guys here in Execration. Perhaps in game, that's Chakno.
Probably. Definitely showing here as well on the bottom lane. Everyone is forcing brute forcing their way into towers. They're using that tankiness that they have, right, to really bully the enemy into submission, and that tower cannot be defended at all.
I want to say that, and Execration is trailing behind when it comes to gold just because of the fact that this is, again, an early game based lineup from NXP Solid. 100% all the time, the early game based lineups are always winning against these greedy cores. And Execration is down by 1,000, but it doesn't mean that it is telling of what might happen in the next few minutes. I would rather say that the real story will be brought up when we see these arrows flying, these hooks fly. If they do hit against NXP Solid, Execration will just snowball from there.
They need to hit H2O, basically, all the time. These arrows, all these hooks, they need to go straight to the Roger, or else that's just going to be the guy who's going to take you down. Because if you don't hit the Roger, the front line is going to overwhelm you. It's their plan is to overrun anyone who tries to go near H2O.
Yeah.
That's why they first picked the Roger. They have a lineup that can go to the back line straight to your face, and you can't do anything about it because we're so tanky, right? That's the plan of NXP, and Execration, they need to play around that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how they will adjust, though. As I think that the trend of the game, that NXP Solid is not getting all those pushes yet. This is 3 turrets in 8 minutes. I think that's okay for Execration if they can defend.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
I wonder how they can defend, though. I'm looking at their lineup, and there's not much wave clear on their side. That might be the problem for Execration down the line.
Oh, that's true. Again, if you want to clear waves with this lineup, you need items, right? You need items on that.
And you need to get close.
You need to get close, exactly. Even their marksman is not really that super long-range marksman, right? It's sort of a hero that really fights up close as well.
Yeah.
And same with their long-range mage
Yeah.
here on the Selena. It's not really a long-range mage.
And not only that, they are incredibly single-target damage dealers.
They need to do things like this, right? They need to go for those single target picks, and it's working very well for Execration. However,
What a
of course,
stun.
NXP goes for the tower
What a
straight,
godly stun.
dives in by H2O. Hello there. That lifesteal sustain is nowhere to be matched by NXP, and he is still gonna go for it. Lycan pounce on the next target. That's a Gitnu. He can survive, but not for long. MB, what was that? That was out of nowhere. I don't think he should have done that, but all in all, the NXP Solid will still be in the lead here.
That skirmish was brought to you by Rena J.
For sure.
Wonderful stun
Beautiful.
onto the Link, punishing him before even popping that Tempest of Blades. And that damage output from the Roger really spelled the doom for Hate. I wonder what play they tried to achieve with that, but you know, and you saw the result. Rena J really punished Execration from being, let's say, that is some bad decision making.
Very, very bad decision making, I would say.
Chakno with the
Here we
flick.
go with the Chakno. Oh my god, Chester. Gonna get hooked up, cancelled on that Hurricane Dance, and now the fight is going on. Yowie, everyone's so tanky. And this is what I'm talking about. You can't hit the Roger. They don't mind it.
Already
look
J
at
with
this
the
guy.
dive.
Look at this guy.
Oh
my gosh, was so aggressive. Now it's going to be up to H2O to
What a jump.
pick up the slack here.
Oh, sakit.
There's the Lycan pounce once more. The lifesteal is real. He's back to full. He takes down Sagitnu as well.
Oh my goodness. That was a heads-up play from Rena J. I think the idea why he went for that dive is to force some mistakes from Execration. And unfortunately, Execration made the mistake afterwards. I would say that the Alice playing like that is calculated, but it was easily punished from Execration.
Very easily punished. I mean, Execration, they know where the orb is going to land,
Yeah.
right? And they know they can crowd control this guy into oblivion if they want to, now that you're on the base. So definitely an overextension, and now it's going to be NXP. They're still, which I guess in the goal they are, but I feel like now Execration feels more confident.
Chakno looking for this.
On the back line, and that's going to be a lot of members going down still for Execration.
Oh, hey.
H2O. Gonna be there on the front. He is full. He is angry, and he wants to go for that tower. And the Lord helped a lot, but I don't think it was too much needed. Push on the bottom lane. They're not done. They still want to go for it. And there's nothing that Execration can do about
They
it.
don't have the wave clear, my man.
They
And we
don't
talked
have it.
about it earlier. Oh, there's the
Oh
jump.
my god, that is so aggressive. Go for Chakno before he can go for H2O. Who's gonna stop me now? Says H2O. I don't think there's anyone who can do that.
Oh, hate. Not gonna make it. Yowie.
Manicutie?
Manicutie, this could be...
That's free people, man. Take care. Hoo-hoo. Gets
I was
evaporated.
Gonna say that it could be disastrous, and it did.
It was.
Man, even the... You'll need about maybe 6 items compared to 3 items of NXP Solid to do that. You need like 10,000 of gold lead.
You need to have that 5-item 1-1 if you want to do that.
If you want to
right?
do that,
You
man.
want to do that, but he did not. He's nowhere near that.
Yeah.
And they're going to suffer a lot because of it. No one to defend, no one to be the main carry here except for Hate. That's his tower in the mid lane. And I think this is it.
Oh, no.
They're going to claim that victory.
Or is it?
And it's going to be a fight.
Or is it?
It's under the tower. It gets delayed once more. That Hurricane Dance is still going on.
Benny's here. Oh,
Benny's
no.
here.
What?
Oh, my God.
Are you kidding me?
No, I think
No.
that's it. Manicutie cannot
Look at
really...
Chakno. Look at Chakno. Oh, it is it.
That's it. That's the victory. And it's Facebook time. Ladies and gentlemen, NXP Solid defeat Execration 2-1. And
man, prepare your popcorns,
prepare
everyone.
the popcorn. That's already in the microwave.
Prepare
my
your
friend.
thumbs. Prepare your fingers.
Ready to scroll.
But not for Mobile Legends.
At all.
For your newsfeed.
For the
It's
newsfeed.
heated up. It's on.
It's on, man. I'm already opening.
NXP Solid is... Oh my God. I can't-
Revenge. What are they doing? They're not really doing much. I'm expecting them to like flex and
Oh my
everything.
God.
They don't want to do.
They did that
do
thing.
the things
the
that
MB
Doggy
thing. The
keeps
MB
doing.
thing.
Yeah, he did do that. You know. So,
Man.
what the heck, man? That was a pretty beautiful game.
No, I think...
For NXP, I was gonna say.
Definitely, yeah. No, I agree. I mean, what I was going to say is that this series really went down to draft.
Draft
And it's
wins
not...
it.
It's not about a team out-drafting the other. It's a team that shoots themselves in their own foot.
Yes.
By drafting questionably.
I don't know. The losses from these teams are not really from the game itself.
That's right.
But from what kind of heroes they pick and who uses it.
Man, it's just so weird to see that given a lot of other things for teams, for their decision making in the draft, they gave away so much to their opponents that it's really hard to win it. But then again, props to NXP Solid. They made it a 1-1 when it comes to the series wins. And
yep.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thanks so much. Anyway, it's going to be a victory here for NXP. Let's see what Butters has to say about that.
Yung ulam mo! At maraming salamat sa mga casters natin. And ulam, Manjin, X, Butters, isang malaking check. Hindi mo kan check yan, pero tagalin natin to. And that is going to be the teleserye or nakita natin dito na nag 1-1 na ang setup natin in terms of the game. Pero alam mo, meron tayong TikTok dito, nag-i-enjoy na naman sila. Ito na yung pinapakita natin. Kung si MB gumanon, paano yun, ganyan, sila, nag-TikTok na naman dito. And those are our star player head-to-head. Yung player head-to-head natin, sila ang nanaig dito. And what really happened? Let's head on to the item builds, ladies and gentlemen. Force engage, hard engage, versus the poke composition na meron dito, yung Execration. And if you would look at this, Chakno was there, Etomax was there. Kung napapansin nyo sa first few minutes of the game, if you noticed na hindi nakapunta si Yawi doon sa may kabilang part na pa. Why is that? It's because Chakno is a threat kapag nahatak niya yung buff, tatagal at tatagal yung pagkuha dito ng NXP ng kanilang mga buffs. So, ibig sabihin, he really needed to be there and si Yawi na-realize ngayon, so hindi na-delay dito. Yung rotation NXP. Yung ginagawa ng Hilda na nag-aggro siya, he did that later on and it really worked on his side. But still, Etomax dito and Chakno, they were really fit into getting the pick-ups na gusto nila. Kasi yan yung ginagawa nila, yan yung ginagawa ni Franco, yan yung ginagawa ni Selena, na naghahanap sila ng mga taong nag-iisa at hahatakin nila or papanain nila and they would go for it. NXP dito, tingnan mo yung lineup na ginawa nila dito. Talagang Panggera, Roger, Hilda, Alice, Akai, tsaka si MB, ito si Xborg. So paano mo hihilahin yung mga taong gusto na malapit sa'yo? Yun ang nangyari dito sa larong to. Let's head on dun sa post-game, post-match data natin. And as you can see, Execration dito, they had a lot of damage. Benny QT really knew who to target. Ang problema, kinulang talaga ng damage. It wasn't really enough para sa kanya dito. Look at his gold. Tapos itutok mo doon sa katapat niyang si Rene J. It's almost a 3K gold difference on their sides. And that is self-explanatory kung nakita nyo yung pacing ng laro. It's all about the hard engage and single target disables. And sayang kasi first time natin nakita ang Franco papasok dito sa ating MPL Season 6 and it didn't really work. And this is Eto Maxilina. Nakita na natin to last time. And it really worked wonders nung Season 5. But right now, nahanapan to ng sagot ng NXP. Punta tayo sa ating highlights. Ladies and gentlemen, the official tournament telco partner, Smart. And look at this. Ito yung tinatawag nating hard engage. Kapag ka may laban, laging paharap ang NXP Solid. Hindi sila dito nagbaback off kasi alam nila, kapag ka nagchacha kayo o sumayaw lang kayo sa gilid-gilid at inaantay nyo na may mahatak dito sa side ng Execration, it's not really gonna go to your side. Nakikita nyo, kapag ka oras na may nahatak na, papasok na rin dito si Chester, papasok na rin dito si Yawi, kasi alam nila it's go time. And that is on their advantage kasi nga wala masyadong AOE stuns o AOE skills dito yung side ng Execration maliban dito kay Sagitno. So that is really just going to be the crutch na kailangan hanapan ng sagot ng Execration. Meron naman silang isang sagot, to be honest. It was Benny QT na nakuha niya naman yung game na gusto niya. Matagal-tagal siya dito hindi na takedown yung uptime niya sa pagpa-farm. Kumbaga yung freedom niya nandun. But still, it wasn't really enough. Kung napapansin niyo dito yung current trend kapag nanalo yung NXP Solid, it's about 12 minutes to 14 minutes average. And yun yung mga oras na medyo dapat nagpa-pop off na si Benny QT. If and only if maganda ang pacing ng laro ng Execration dito. They did their best. They catched Rene J dito. But still, it was sa mga members ng side ng Execration. With NXP Solid getting that certain momentum, it turned the tides. Kung napapansin nyo dito, meron tayong tinatawag na moment of brilliance para sa ng Execration. They really tried to defend, but the problem is, mas naging patient ng NXP Solid ngayon. And that bagged them the win. H2O, without a doubt, is your Smart MVP of the game. 58,000 damage received, 54,000 damage dealt, and a whole lot of items na nandito sa side niya. 8-0-8. Wow. What a performance. And alam na naman natin to, H2O yan, pre. H2O yan. But mad props to Execration. It really looked good. Pero paano ba natin isi-settle yung score ngayon? 1-1 na tayo. Well, dapat magdo-drawing ako. Pero tamang setup lang. Mamaya na. So ito ladies and gentlemen, meron kasi tayong aso. Teka lang, paano ko ba i-drawing to? Yan. Isang wolf na babagsik, may pangil, na hahabulin ka at hindi ka papakawalan. That was the trend na pinakita dito nila H2O na talagang hard engage.
Nagalag.
MB? Kamusta?
Hello, boss.
Kamusta, MB?
Ay, wait lang Oy.
Ayan, tahimik daw.
Oy.
MB, kamusta? Congratulations. Kamusta? Anong pakiramdam ngayon na nakabawi kayo?
Boss Butters.
Salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Anong pakiramdam na nakabawi kayo?
Wait lang, medyo choppy.
Sige, medyo choppy daw ako. Okay lang, tanggap ko naman. Ano ang pakiramdam na nakabawi na kayo sa Execration? Siyempre, ang daming post
Paano nakabawi ba? Nakabawi daw kami sa Execration. Chambak lang yun. Ano ba naman yan? Bawi ba yun? Ay, nako.
Pero, Well, maganda. I like the confidence, MB. Ano yung mga ginawa yung preparasyon?
Salamat po.
Ano yung ginawa yung preparasyon nung nalaman yung execration na naman yung lalabanan nyo?
Teka, nag-prepare ba tayo doon?
Naku!
Parang ano eh. Nag-TikTok nga yung iba sa amin. Kumbaga parang normal na RG lang. Ganun po yung +5 no. Parang +5 lang talaga sa RG. Wala, parang nag-RG lang sa idol no. Nag-RG lang po kami. Actually, nagla-live pa kami. Si Awe, isipin mo nagselena. Parang din namang di ba? RG ng MPL eh. So yun lang po. Yun lang.
Okay. So, na-secure nyo na yung playoff slot nyo, MB. Ano ba yung mga dapat pa namin expect sa NXP Solid?
Ano pong dapat abangan? Siyempre, sa playoff, sana masuportahan nyo yung NXP Solid. Kasi marami pa kami lalabas dyan. Yung mga hindi nyo nakikita, hindi itong regular season, ibibitaw na namin dyan sa playoffs. Sa tulong nila. Coach Yolo, yan, at ng buong Nexplay. Abangan nyo na lang sa playoffs. May pasabog tayo dyan.
May pasabog pa sila, MB. So, MB, mga final shoutout mo. Mga final shoutout mo bago kayo magpasabog papasok ng playoffs. Sino ba?
Maraming salamat. Shoutout ko nga pala, siyempre yung Team Payabang. Di ba? Ayan, maraming salamat sa Team Payabang, sa MB since day one. Siyempre kay Boss Doggy, sa buong Hater family, Nexplay family, sa mga sponsors namin, Acer. Siyempre kay Boss family, sa mga sponsors namin, Acer, Predator, Sharp PH, Cherry Mobile, Cherry Prepaid, maraming salamat. At sa mga nagdasal, maraming salamat sa inyo. Siyempre, sa inyo din po, Boss Butters. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat din.
Sa mga nagdas. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat sa pagpapa-unlock, MB. And congratulations sa inyo. Mag-enjoy na kayo at mag-post na kayo sa social media. Mag-aabang kami. Maraming salamat. And that was MB, ladies and gentlemen. Hindi sila nag-prepare at hindi daw talaga sila bumawi. Kumambak lang daw talaga sila. And we are going to our mythical raffle draw, ladies and gentlemen. At pag-uusapan natin ngayon na itong mythical raffle draw natin ngayon, it's really exciting kasi yung mythical raffle draw dati, playoffs lang lumalabas. Pero ngayon, meron na din tayo dito sa ating regular season. Mythical raffle draw, we have 16,915 participants, and as you can see, the skins na nandyan. You have a King of Muay Thai, Valir Shikigami. Ang dami pang mga skins dyan na iba-iba pa. And make sure you join the next mythical raffle draw. As you can see here, yung ating ruleta ay umiikot na. Gusto nyo na bang pihitin natin? Ito, para malaman na natin kung sino ang mga nanalo. Sige, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At ayan ang mga nanalo sa ating mythical raffle draw. And those prizes are yours. 5 kayo. Makukuha niyo yung mga skins na yan. And that is going to be legendary para matulungan pa kayong mag-dominate sa Land of Dawn. Man, oh man, 5 skin. Ito yung mga heroes usually na ginagamit ng BNK, Blue Farm. So that is going to be very interesting para sa inyo. Congratulations again sa ating mga viewers na nanalo. And make sure na kung kayo ay hindi pa nakakasali or hindi pa pag-fill up dun sa week 8 natin, mag-fill up na kayo. Malay nyo, kayo ang manalo sa ating mythical raffle draw. Let's head on to usapang MPL. 7 tao na ang nakaabot sa 100 kill club natin this regular season. Sino pa kaya yung mga player na tingin nyo magka-catch up or magti-take ng lead? So, punta tayo doon sa next, first answer natin for this session. Roar Hub, ang hirap basahin, wala akong letter R. Roar Hub Cortez. Si JP ang makakuha ng mataas na kills ngayong season at kayang umabot ng 750 kills upang masira ang pinakamataas na kill record sa kasaysayan ng MPL. That is good, 750 yung kanina 800. Let's head on to the second one. Christian Miguel, si Cardsy ang makakuha ng pinakamataas na bilang ng kills ngayong season at kayang umabot ng 200 upang masira ang pinakamataas na kill record sa kasaysayan ng MPL. Next one, That is going to be Charles John Plantig. Si H2O makakuha ng pinakamataas na bilang ng kills at kayang umabot ng 180 plus kills upang masira ang pinakamataas na kill record sa kasaysayan ng MPL. Wow! Ang taas na expectations natin and congratulations sa inyo. You just won yourselves skins. But para doon naman sa hindi mga napili, you still get the giveaway code right here. Pwede nyo i-claim yan, pwede nyo kunin yan, and we have another one right there. So, screenshot nyo na. Ayan, habang nakikita nyo to, paubos na yan. So, kunin nyo na. At meron pa tayo yung mythical raffle draw natin na gagawin natin for next week. It's bit.ly/MRD-W8. A lot of things are happening, so make sure na sumasali kayo dyan sa mga raffles na yan. Just so na mas maganda pa ang viewing experience nyo dito sa ating MPL. And that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Magpapasalamat muna tayo sa ating mga sponsors before we head out dun sa top 5 Realme plays natin. Our official tournament telco partner Smart, squad up, rank up, and keep up with your favorite teams as Smart powers up your game with free games for all. Get 14 GB for Mobile Legends and Facebook Gaming for 7 days. Simply download the new GigaLive app and choose free games. Official sponsor Realme. The Realme 7 series is now available nationwide. Join the revolution and own the fastest charging smartphone in the country. Like and follow Realme on social media to know more. Official sponsor Gillette. Get free diamonds with purchase of Gillette's Mach 3 Razor, Vector 3 Razor, or Blue 3 Simple Force Pack and select pure gold doors nationwide. Our partner in esports, Paymaya. Get free 50 peso credit from Paymaya when you download and register using the code MLBB. Terms and conditions apply. Partner in esports, TikTok. Search MLBB or Mobile Legends in TikTok to watch legendary videos. MLBB or Mobile Legends in TikTok to watch legendary videos. We also have our official gaming headset partner, Logitech G. Here like a pro, and this won't be possible if it's not powered by Moonton. Thank you sa ating mga sponsors for making this MPL possible. At ako, ang inyong solo analyst para dito sa series na to. At babalik ako mamaya para sa isa pang analyst segment. But with that, let's turn you over sa ating top 5 Realme plays for this series.
Are you game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart Giga Games 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart Giga Games 99.
The way you live your life depends on the network you choose. Your movies, music, and games can only be as good as your network's speed and strength. Slow means game over. But the Philippines' fastest mobile data network means game changing. Choose the network that gives you what you truly enjoy. How do you know about this Giga Life? Simple and smart ako.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigafy happiness. Gigafy love. Gigafy friendship. Gigafy dreams. Gigafy hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.
Realme 7 Pro, 65-watt charging evolution. Realme smartphone, dare to leap.
Don't pay cash. Pay Maya. Para may balik kaya ka.
You've got me on the edge.
Legit, right? Not quite. Just like your disposable razor. It's time you switch your disposable razor for your legit first shave so you can be every bit legit. Gillette Mac 3.
For a closer shave, less irritation, switch
to Gillette Mac 3.
Mas gutom ako ngayon. Gusto ko makuha yung championship ng Season 6. Mahirap man pero tatrabahuin. Yun yung pangarap namin. Kasi di lang basta nandito ka, laro-laro ka lang. Hindi ganun eh. Gusto namin makuha yung achievement namin na makakuha ng championship. Palagi kang positive, may mararating ka sa buhay. Palagi ako naniniwala na makakapasok ako ng MPL. Mindset ko lang, laro is laro. Lalaroin ko lang yung laro ko. And alam ko may ibubuga ako.
Shider is back.
Nung nawala ako ng Season 2, may katim na ako sila Demon, which is yung katim ko ngayon na si Drix tsaka si Demon. Palagi lang kami nag-ano, offline tour na. Noong Season 3 and Season 4, pinilit kong makapasok. Pero, fail. Nang Season 5, yun, kinuha ko ng BSB din, pinalad naman ulit. Naging fighter ako kasi nabago yung meta. Kasi mid lane ako nun eh, dati. So, malaking adjustments yung nabago sa akin. Lumaki yung hero pools ko. Marami rin kasi nagbago sa laro eh. Sobrang nag-mature ako.
Pushback itong solo kill by Shider QT on the carry at the bottom lane. Walang kalaban-laban doon sa sikahan.
Dragon naging
Marami ako natutunan, lalo na kay Cap 1. Kasi every time na may error ako, sabi ko sa kanya, huwag siyang mahiyang magsabi sa akin kasi gusto ko nakikinig ako. Gusto ko matuto lalo. Si Ana, palagi rin nagbibigay ng payo sa akin. Mag-champion. Kasama yung team ko ngayon. Yun naman yung hangad ng lahat, di ba? Yung makakuha ng title. Magtatrabaho ko na mabuti para sa karir na to. Mas pag-iigihan ko pa. Siyempre, pangarap mo makapunta pa rin ng MPL. So, masaya ako. Kahit nung wala pa ako sa MPL, masaya pa rin ako. Kasi ginagawa ko naman yung gusto kong gawin. Kaya gusto ko rin makapasok ng MPL kasi gusto ko rin makatulong sa family ko. Thank you, Ma, sa suporta. Sa ate ko, sa kuya ko, lahat sila kasi tuwing may laban kami, lahat sila nanonood. Pero may isang taong palagi naniniwala sa akin, yung girlfriend ko, si Ashley. Palagi niya sinasabi pag nadadown ako, laban lang palagi. Huwag may stress. Every time na pag natatalo kami, nandiyan siya palagi sa akin sa tabi. Kahit hindi ko kasama, palagi ang pinapaiwan. Siyempre sa teammate ko, kay Boyet, kay Wilson, kay Drix, Robert, tsaka kay Coach. Maraming salamat. Kasi nung season 2, hindi pa naman ako sobrang mature. Kala ko parang wala lang. Parang may sponsorship lang na ganyan, maglalaro ka lang. Pero para siyang trabaho talaga. Kunyari, palagi na sa office, 8 hours, maglalaro ka.
Go to BSB!
Lumawak yung isip ko sa paglalaro and sa mga nakapaligid. Kaya mas pinag-iigihan ko mabuti. Maraming kailangan trabahuin. Pag kailangan mo ng ganito, pag gusto mo yung ganito, tatrabahuin mo.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League Season 6, Week 7, Day 1. And we are in 42nd matchup for today. Okay, I'm going to give you your actor Rockhart alongside my analyst Wolf, and we'll be giving you the action as it comes in for Bren versus BSB. And again, before we get started, let's just go ahead and thank our official tournament telco partner, Smart. Squad up, rank up, and keep up with your favorite teams as Smart powers up your game with free games for all. Get up to 14 gigabytes for Mobile Legends and Facebook Gaming for 7 days. Simply download the new GigaLife app and choose free games.
Also like to thank our official sponsor, Realme. The Realme 7 series is now available nationwide. Join the revolution and the fastest charging smartphone. Got that first-hand experience, of course, in the country. Like and follow Realme on social media to know more.
And our official sponsor, Gillette, get free diamonds with purchases of Gillette's Mach Free Razor, Vector Free Razor, or Blue Free Simple Force Pack in select pure gold doors nationwide.
And also, thank our partners in esports. The first partner, of course, is PayMaya. Get free 50 pesos credits from PayMaya when you download and register using the code MLBB. Terms and conditions apply.
And now our partner in esports, TikTok Live. We are live as well on TikTok. If you search Mobile Legends or hashtag MLBB on TikTok, you'll be able to find not just the live stream, but also content creators and your favorite players as well.
Absolutely. I'd also like to thank our official gaming headset partner, Logitech G, here like a pro. Of course, we'd like to thank Moonton for powering the MPL-PH Season 6.
And we are back here for Game 2. I mean, we took a pretty good break there from Game 1.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right.
I'm still experiencing the aftershocks of that matchup on our phones, obviously. By the way, Realme 7, by the way. It's really hot on social media right now.
We call that? That's white.
It's pearlescent. It's pearlescent. I think it's pearlescent white.
Beautiful,
right?
man.
And I have to say that you guys have to watch out for your news feeds. It's still popping up one by one, slowly. They're taking their time, and I'm sure the NXP boys are back on TikTok.
That's right.
By this time,
I'm sure,
right? I'm sure. And of course, that's all done and dusted.
Yeah.
We'll meet them again soon. Don't worry. And for those who are still hungry for action, we have Bren and BSB for you guys. Now, this matchup, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's gonna be an uphill climb. It's an uphill climb for BSB at currently 6 points against Bren Esports, top of the bracket with 23. Now, the conditions for BSB were clear, right?
Yeah.
Wolf, you mentioned this before.
Yeah, they need to win as much as they can. Unfortunately, they're going to be facing up against the best teams in the league, particularly literally the best.
Literally the best team.
Most points by a team, that's Bren Esports. They are at 23 points, 8-1 when it comes to series win, and 16-3 when it comes to game wins. And man, a tall order this is.
That's gonna be it. Let's have a look at first, of course, Bren Esports Minutes Meet.
Para sa akin, ang threat sa team namin is yung aura. Kasi gusto ko silang talunin ng Bren.
Para sa akin, walang threat. Kasi Bren lang malakas. So, wala kaming kinakatautan.
Walang magiging threat sa amin. Kasi kami yung magiging threat sa kanila.
Para sa akin, walang threat. Kasi baka TZ Nation na yung kaharap nyo, pre.
Yung team na gusto kong makalaban yung Season 6 is yung MPL-PH kasi sila yung naglaglag sa amin ng MPL Season 5.
Yung team na excited akong makalaban is yung MPL-PH kasi dalawang best na nila akong nilaglag sa lower bracket finals ng playoffs. Sana playoffs na agad kayo naman lalaglagin ko.
Bren lang malakas!
And by now, of course, that Bren lang malakas battle cry is still roaring strong in the airwaves. Bren Esports right there on your screens. Carl TZ, Rebo, Flap TZ, Few, Lusty, and EJ. Scan these teams on the upper right by scanning the QR codes. And you will see that these guys also have a thing or two to say about NXP. Of course, that's already history right there. But of course, they are now fighting off against BSB. Now, it's all going to be about just keeping their momentum straight, right?
Yep.
For Bren Esports.
So far, their loss against Omega, something that they have shrugged off after that 2-0 from NXP. Also, they're playing with a different lineup, I think. You know what?
Right.
We were following Ducky, one of our loyal friends here in the scene, who happens to be the coach of Bren Esports, and he said that this time EJ will play. But that is just again.
I kind of don't trust what this guy says on social media anymore.
It's part of the strategy.
It sounds like a strategy. He's been hinting at EJ being able to play for a long time now.
Oh yeah.
This is like the third time. So I don't know. Maybe third time's the charm here for Bren Esports, and maybe EJ. If there was a time for EJ to really have a lot of freedom to disrupt their normal gameplay, maybe now is it going to be it.
Yeah.
Because on the other side, the BSB they are not on top form. They are fresh from 3 straight losses. 3 straight 0-2 losses, mind you. And before we get into that, let's have a look at BSB's Minute to Me.
Sa tingin ko wala kasi naghanda kami ng todo para sa darating na Season 6. Kahit yung top 4 last season, MPL Season 5, parang hindi naging threat para sa amin.
Gusto ko sa champion na agad para malaman kung malakas pa talaga kami o hindi. First game pa lang, suntukan na.
Gusto ko makalawan yung Blacklist eh. Naka-champ lang yata sila sa amin din kay Honda. Parang sa akin si Edward naman nung yayariin namin.
And yung isa yung Aura PH kasi gusto ko patunayan na di lang sila yung pwede mag-champion. May BSB pa.
Sa akin, Execration. Kasi dati pa sa mga mini tournaments na kalaban na namin sila, iba pa team nila. Kaya parang, ayun, gigil ako sa kanila.
What's up?
No mention of Bren Esports anywhere there, but definitely having a lot of beeps with a lot of different teams here. That's BSB, Drix, Anna, Wilson, Trevor, Cap1, and Scheider.
Oh man, they need to play the most perfect Mobile Legends gameplay that they can if they want to stay in the playoffs. Unfortunately, Bren Esports,
man, are just
this is how good their team is. That's just say a lot. For BSB, only Drix is the well-performing player. Looking at their KDA rates, 1.85, 2.30, 1.98, 1.67, and 0.54. Those are abysmal stat line for a team. Nevertheless, I like that they are keeping up a fight. Putting up a fight, I mean. As Drix is there, the first player in this season to notch 100 kills. I think that's an important achievement. Most especially because Drix is a rookie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he is a rookie, and I think most of them actually are. I mean, and considering he's the best performing player so far on the team, stats-wise, there's just no going on around it. Yeah, a lot of people are saying, you know what, this guy's on the wrong team.
That's right.
I've been hearing that all season long, and I have to say, Anna and Drix, they're definitely, they look like they're a great combo to be a force to be reckoned with, right? But definitely not the lineup that I kind of want them to be in. But that's not taking away from the rest of the team that have been trying very hard throughout the season to at least maintain, and definitely playing a lot better than Blue Fire.
Right.
Like that by a long shot, right?
It's an incredibly large margin, man. What I want to say about BSB is that they share some of the heroes that Bren Esports wants to play, particularly the Thams. However, they share it in a manner that obviously BSB is not looking favorable. BSB picked Thams 14 times already all throughout the season, but won 3 out of the 14.
Ooh, that's a lot of hits. That's a lot of hit and miss there.
And then you compare it to Bren Esports, which normally teams ban out the Thams against Bren Esports. Bren Esports is at 100% win rate in the 4 games that they were able to play it.
Yeah. 9 games, 100% win rate on Uranus. 7 games, 100% win rate on Lance. Farsa as well as the Yisun Shin. Wow, that is just a lot of hundreds.
Man, this is something that you really need to watch out for against. I mean, Bren Esports rarely lose anyways. But as you can see, imagine this. We have not seen a game where Carl Tizzy's Lancelot was lost.
That's right.
Fuse Farsa.
100%.
Not yet lost. And what would you do now if you're BSB? Do you ban Thams, Lancelot, and Farsa? Thams, Uranus, Farsa? What is the play here for BSB? That's the big question, right?
Yeah, what I would ask them to do is look at, if they did research, just look at stat sheets like this, just ban out everything that's 100%, then, hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
I don't see any going around Bren Esports, considering they have a lot of, their hero pool just way too deep to ban out.
Absolutely. Perhaps the only heroes that they play often was the Cho and the Farsa. Nevertheless, we know that Bren Esports, they can play virtually anything. That's what you get from getting all those big-time players, right? Those superstars. And if you recall, back in Season 5, this team was an all-star team. It was a superstar team, right?
They've been like that.
They have
for
been
a
like
long
that for a
time.
long time. And
Yeah. Speaking of superstars, our head-to-heads are going to be coming into our screens right now. And I have to say, I'm a little surprised by that first blood count for BSB. I mean, they really like their early game. And this is something that we've been saying about this team. That's why in the beginning of the season, they were somewhat scratching their opponents a lot by a very strong early game presence.
I see.
They're only losing by 1 to 2s. But, after that early game, first blood's great, early rotations is great. They get a ton of gold in the first 5 minutes, 6 minutes of the game. But after that initial lead, they fall hard.
Yeah.
It's like, where's the gold going to? How do we close out? How do we finish the games? I think that's going to be the case here as well.
That is what you just said is like the main weakness of BSB that Bren Esports have been exposing from other teams for time and time again. The fact that they aren't that prepared or of a vast majority of strategies so that they can make Drix work. That's where their problems lie.
Yep.
Because as good as your players are, if you don't know the supplementary heroes to go with it, you're not gonna utilize it. Like, for example, Bren Esports, they have Curl-TZ, and they know how to utilize Curl-TZ.
That's right. I mean, this is just, they know how to play around them. And
Absolutely.
the players are aware that we have to do that.
Exactly.
We have to play around the map as if Curl-TZ is like a precious gem that we're guarding, right? And walking around and getting all that gold and talking on here on the player head-to-head. It's a pretty good KDA, but I have to say that Drix really is keeping up. This is the one area where BSB looks like they are on the match, right? So, MVP count, 8 MVPs, obviously the most valuable player right now in the league. He's first, and that's something that you can't ignore. I mean, I'm still a little bit against that getting the carries as MVPs kind of deal, but it works for this guy. It does work for this guy.
MVP, Curl-TZ is... the way I see this is that there are players with good KDAs, but not all players have good game scores. That's different.
Yes.
Curl-TZ is top 1 when it comes to the average game score, which means that not only does he get kills, assists, and he dies less, he also deals more damage than an average player. He also brings damage to the turrets more than any other carries. And that, to me, is very significant because it's one thing to kill and not die. That is exactly what happens with Full Clip as well as Drix.
Yep.
But when you look at the actual impact of a player when it comes to important objectives like turrets, like turtles, and even those big objectives like the Lords, that's where you know that a player is actually good.
Exactly. Like, you can tell, like, not really just the kills. Just ignore that for a moment.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing on the map. Are they getting enough gold for their team? Are they getting the turret down?
Yeah.
Are they getting the turtle?
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
These are things that you have to watch out for. And again, KDA is only half, or not even half, like a small part
Not
of the
even.
story.
It's very small if you think about it because it's always about impact. Of course, when you compare carries to carries, that's where it matters, right? But
absolutely, right.
And you know what? For me personally, Mr. Rockhart, KDA is only indicative of the playstyle, not actual impact. Like, for example, Wise. Wise's KDA is very low, but he put Onyx to a place where they are leading in terms of hero damage per minute as well as turret damage per minute.
Yep.
That just goes to show that even when he is dying a lot, he is grouping up with his team more than any other player or any other carry, which also translates to MPL-PH prioritizing the objectives more than any other team.
Yeah, that means you're not getting kills, right? But you're getting all the turrets you need. You're getting all the gold, and
Absolutely.
you're still winning in the end.
That's right.
Even if you're not really the one picking it up.
That's right.
So I would say that's a very small indicator. And we're gonna look back in that over and over again for sure, especially in the coming playoffs.
That's right.
When we start comparing these players and we start ranking them in the power rankings for the playoffs. That's gonna be interesting to do.
That's
right. But yeah, obviously right now it's all going to be up to teamwork, and I don't know if BSB's changed that much since they came in. every week we have been hoping that these guys really, shape up the form.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
Not there. Not there at all. Bren Esports versus BSB Game 1, Mr. Rockhart, as we get to see the bans. So, BSB's choice is to go for the Hilda ban. And a meta ban was the Khalid. And then Bren Esports, I think that for the past 3 games that we saw Bren Esports play, they banned the Jawhead first phase.
Yep, Jawhead's out as usual, and they don't want to deal with all the headaches that the Jawhead has been giving a lot of the teams in the early game, right? They're not playing it like that all the time, but there's always a risk that this Jawhead is just going to start creeping into your jungle and then throwing the buff everywhere, or maybe your hero and then resetting your buff. Bren doesn't want to deal with that. They are very much aware of the strength of this hero.
That's
and
right.
That's why they prioritize it instead of the usual fighter bans.
Bren Esports will now field EJ. And
he's actually there.
He's actually there.
Oh, okay.
And this time, Mr. Ducky did not
not lie.
Didn't lie.
On his social media.
There it is.
Finally.
So that's Uranus. What you can see from Bren Esports, Thumbs is there.
Yep.
And it is automatically picked up. We know that. And you go Cho for BSB, I believe, to go with either Hilda or Ling, one of their priority picks.
I believe EJ's tank support, right? Ever since.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
He's
yes,
always been tank support. Season 4, when he came in, he played the Minotaur a lot. So expect a lot of Kufra bans probably. I would say smart also to ban the Atlas against Bren Esports, but I don't think they're going to go that way. If you notice, Bren Esports doesn't actually play that much Atlas that lately. I feel like Lusty just plays different stuff.
Yeah, I think you go Cho Ruby this time. Oh, there it is.
I just picked the Cho. There's
Cho and Ruby.
no shame in getting the Cho.
There it is.
Yeah, for sure. Good call, bro. Now, I'm not surprised by this again. Off-lane picks are... I think the only time that we did it, this didn't happen, these off-lane first picks, is last game, where NXP first picked the Roger out of nowhere. I was surprised by that.
Oh, no!
Oh my gosh, did you just give away a Selena to Bren Esports?
God. Can't blame them, though. BSB, they have to think about a lot first.
Yeah, they can pick up the Farsa because of this, but...
Maybe they go pick up the Roger this time for BSB or the Yi Sen Shin, because Bren Esports are just going to have a field day if that Yi Sen Shin comes out.
Yeah, take away the 100% heroes, right?
All right, absolutely.
That's going to be it. Like, banning out these Lancelots, this... Oh my god, I don't know if you can even ban out the Farsa anymore because you don't need to. You can pick it. BSB's going to play for the pick of the Farsa.
Yep. Wonder what this entails for BSB. Let's see what happens next.
Taking their time there.
Oh,
interesting.
So they go Kufra instead.
There you go. Okay. Stealing away, like I said, it's a very big pick here on this game. I mean, these are two teams that are not afraid to use their tanks on their lineup compared to previous games that we've had as well. So
I want to see a lot of bans now for the cores for BSB, then take away the biggest core. For example, if they ban Roger and Yi Sen Shin, they can take the Lancelot for themselves. Because their position of the draft is more advantageous to the BSB side. So they ban Lancelot, and then they will ban Roger, then take the Yi Sen Shin, or just shuffle between the 3.
Because I really like the Yi Sen Shin on Drix. It's like an effective hero for them. They picked it 8 times so far and won 3 out of 5. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I would want to keep that up. Even in the games that BSB loses, their Yi Sen Shin actually still flourishes.
I like the Yi Sen Shin. I like the odds of Yi Sen Shin.
Bren Esports is the one who bans it out. Interesting.
Right. It's the Roger for Bren Esports ban. And the BSB, I think you ban another carry, actually. So they themselves ban the Yi Sen Shin. Pretty sure that BSB is planning a different core for sure. I'm not sure if Hayabusa is already allowed, though.
No, I don't think so.
It's not yet allowed?
No announcements as of yet, so we still have permabans, right?
Yeah.
No Barats, no Hayabusa, and there was one more.
Badang is now.
Badang, right? Yeah, Badang is not going to be allowed.
All right. So you take the Claude now for BSB, or something like Harith, so that Bren Esports will not get it.
Yeah, Claude makes a lot of sense. Harith, It's a BSB hero. Yeah, right.
So
Two
there
games.
you go, Farsaban.
2 games, but 0% win rate. That's I don't know about that, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know about that. But again, Bren Esports, they're the team that plays better on that Claude. So I think they might be expecting this on the second rotation.
Absolutely. Of Bren Esports, they're looking for their tank and their carry. Like the odds of
What about the carry itself, right? I don't know.
carry for BSB is gonna be good, honestly. It's probably the reason why they banned Gisenjin, Lancelot. So they take the Kagura, that's their mage. And I think that they will just react to the last pick of Bren Esports. Now, if it is indeed Claude or carry for Bren Esports, it's gonna be good.
Yep.
I like the odds of that hero.
Or do you want to go back to that funnel Yuuzhan? I don't know. It's not going to happen, obviously.
Not
it's
at all.
just fun to think about. They're going to have to come up with a new unique hero. They were forced into a situation where they need to pick a new
I think
hero.
Baksha is the choice for Bren Esports when it comes to the tanks.
Absolutely.
It's
Again,
good nurse to sustain.
I guess we don't have that much of what do you call that, sample size for EJ's new heroes.
Oh, that's also true.
Last time I saw him play was like what, season 4? He's playing season 5. He did play on season 5. And now
So
that
Popple and Koopa?
this is gonna be a
Alright.
Claude, right? I'm expecting a Claude here for BSP.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
So it's
this happened last week.
So the idea now for BSB is just to outspeed Bren Esports. There's no point trying to contest him in the late game.
Yep.
And try to win it in the early stages of the game. Maybe you can take away the early game presence from Bren Esports with this Hellcurt. I like the idea. I love that BSB is gambling instead of just going for the safer route. As you can see, the board has been laid out and Ducky is showing what their play is.
Yep. And he wants them to shoot the ball.
He wants them to shoot the ball, right?
He wants them to shoot the ball, man. Let's go into this one. And I have to say, the chances of BSB in this game are starting to fall here a lot. I like that they have a team fighting lineup in mind. And you know what? This is something that can fight really well into a 5-man death ball.
Yep.
On the side of Brendo, they want to fight early game skirmishes using Popple and Koopa probably and the Selena. But other than that, everyone wants the late game.
Absolutely. Woo! I like the fact really that BSB drafted this instead of going for the safer route. And I repeated that statement because I just want to emphasize how crucial this is for BSB. Surely they want to win and surely they want to go take a game away from Bren Esports one at a time.
Yep.
I love that their idea is to just go for a strategy that can either make them lose badly or win really well.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
Like the extremes.
Exactly, because the only way they're winning a 2-0 against Bren in the first place is if to take it slow.
Yeah.
Take it one game at a time.
That's
and
right.
maybe surprise Bren Esports with something they haven't seen before.
Maybe.
This is actually a lineup that's very difficult to, like... I've never seen a team play something like this. It's like a chop suey kind of lineup for me.
For Bren Esports?
No,
So for BSB.
BSB,
All right.
So
I see.
For me, it's kind of all over the place.
It is.
Those surprise factors are sometimes what wins games. You know, that happens to our games, ranked games. You know, we get weird stuff happening over and over again. So sometimes you can take your opponents by surprise.
I want to say though, Bren Esports haven't, or at least I have not seen a game, or I have not casted a game where Bren Esports lost with Selena.
Yes,
Also,
exactly.
Selena plus Popple and Koopa. This is, I'd say, 3-4 months ago, one of the strongest duos that anybody can pull off. I remember Bren Esports participating in an online international tournament. And they were just destroying their competition with this Selena, with this Popple and Koopa, and then you put them together. It's also very strong. I wonder what Bren Esports' play will be. That's what I am
That's true.
excited to see.
It's very difficult to think about but if you look at the lineups, you'll see that a lot of them are cores that really survive for long term in the side lanes. Plus, not to mention the Popple and Koopa. If you throw this on the mid lane, it's gonna be there for a long time.
Yeah.
It takes Lethal Wonder very fast. It can protect your area, your jungle very quickly.
That's right.
So the emphasis for Brent here is to go for late game, which is a bit odd.
Yeah.
And I was expecting them to go hard, to hit hard and hit fast in this one. And that's not the case here.
We don't know. Maybe they will brute force their way into it, man.
Using the Popol and Koopa advantage in the early game to push to the jungle, that's a possibility. That's a possibility.
Man, so there was a theory that we kind of tested out. Will Popol, or I mean the wolf, be considered as a hero when you're trying to invade?
Oh, to add to that 15% thing.
The answer is no.
The answer is no.
But if Koopa could be that damage dealer. And Koopa just being, Popol just being in the vicinity could be good.
The guy that's gonna harass the jungler himself. The
That's
guys
right.
in the jungle.
Yeah.
Right.
And with good Popol players, they know how to juggle the aggro or the attention of Koopa. So that when the time does come, right, you choose whether you attack the minion, the creep, or the hero that's taking down the creep. Yeah.
Interesting to know that. Of
It
course,
is. It's not counted, but if Popol is nearby, that's where you count the plus 15% resistance.
I would say that that's very much what you want to utilize the Popol and Koopa for, especially in the early game where Bren Esports doesn't actually have that much early game power.
Yeah.
Right? The only early game power they have probably here is Popol and Koopa. The Fams is going to take a while to go online. The Esmeralda is going to take a lot of time to go online. Not to mention, they also have to think about whether or not they have to worry about the Hellcurt all the time. Man, this Hellcurt's going to give a lot of headaches, and the counterplay there is to just be the one to give the headache to the Hellcurt instead. I hope they do that, and that's going to be their game plan. Because Hellcurt on Drix, that's carry Hellcurt never works out. It never, ever works out.
No. It worked out maybe season 1 where there's not much other carries anymore. So. It's not even a carry in a way.
It's just an assassin.
Like an assassin.
Who's gonna scale strong.
Actually, it kind of makes me think. A funneled Hellcurt, when was the last time you saw it? Honestly, it worked with tournaments outside of MPL. That much I can say. But in an MPL match against the best team in the league, that is where the question marks do appear. Right?
There's a lot of experimentation, I think, for BSB. The wrong place and the wrong time to do it, I have to admit. But again, here we are, ladies and gents, into game 1 for Bren Esports versus BSB. Still look like they are having a lot of fun here in the mid lane, and in the positioning that they're showing, they're looking like they want to go for the aggressive jungle start here.
Well, look at that. EJ, I wonder how good he is with this hero. So far, so good, honestly. Juggling, whether to harass or to take down members of the opponent. Drix now in a bad spot. Oh my, Trevor actually.
Yeah, Trevor is actually the one who was almost in trouble there. Trouble.
Trouble for Trevor, I guess.
Trouble for Trevor, rather. And it's going to be few on that classic Selena.
There it is.
Oh my gosh, you're slowed by an Abyssal Trap, and then a wild Koopa just runs at you. That's gonna be the theme over and over again here for BSB. Good luck to these guys.
Good luck indeed. Look at the silence of Bren Esports. It's actually really good. Tham's already on his way to harass this Hellcurt or maybe put a stop to Hellcurt. Unfortunately, the Hellcurt's already away. Popol and Koopa shows himself in the mid. The part.
The Flapteezy way too deep in the jungle territory might be giving away another one, and looks like that's gonna be another one for BSB. Wow, they got a great early game, I would say, because of that. That's a big. Where did Flap go? What was the plan there for Flapteezy?
He's trying to be
so weird.
aggressive. And look at this. Koopa is to be taken down.
Problem with being a Koopa Popol and Koopa in the early game, you don't really have that tankiness, and even the tank can do that much damage to you.
So actually, Thams was able to slow down the orange buff take while few Classic Selena.
Yeah. I mean, fams slowed it down. Fuke outright denied it.
Yeah.
That's the plan there for Bren Esports. And Dave Flapteezy's back for round 2. He ends up to be the one getting the buff.
That's right. I think that he's just trying to slow down his opponents. They're already level 4. Drix is level 2.
Seriously, though.
Oh, my.
Drix on the Hellcurt is level 2?
Oh, my. That is bad news because BSB really relies on this Hellcurt to fly in the early stages of the game, but that's not even near happen as Bren Esports will complete this 1-1, funneled 1-1, I think.
Total disruption in the jungle here for Bren Esports. How are they able to do that? Man, we're going to have to analyze this game. I mean,
No, here's the thing, because they have heroes that can harass the mid laners. So if you can see Bren Esports, they're just focusing on dealing the damage on the heroes.
Look at this guy, Flapteezy on Shider QT, just outright spamming those molten sights in the face of that Ruby. Cannot even lifesteal back anymore.
Shider, I think that he doesn't know much about Ruby because he stayed way too much. He gave so much free hits to the Thams.
Yep.
And that's Flapteezy. Flapteezy, that's 100% win rate. You have to say, 4 out of the 4, they
look
won.
at that. The trap goes into Ana. You can't umbrella out of that one. You go down right away. Trapper on the bouncing ball. You can only stop that for so long. You can't bouncing ball out of the traps as well. And that is Bren Esports. When we said they didn't have early game, I was expecting they didn't have early game, but Carl Teasy said, you know what? I can do damage. What are you talking about? That's a great kick there for Wilson. Takes out EJ on the Popo and Koopa. At least they get something back there.
At least they did get something back. But this is 12,200 gold compared to 8,600. Rebo has got the Enchanted Talisman. With this avarice, 4 minutes in. That is bad news for BSB. And looking at Drix is at level 5. Look at Cartesi, it's level 7.
Oh my god.
With a turtle buff.
Can't even kill him anymore at this point. That's a very... It's going to take a lot of effort from Wilson, from Drix, to get into Carl Teasy. And right now, that's not even the target. Rebo is the one who's going to be targeted here. Ana is very close. Can't even execute anymore, even without the Purify.
Oh, man. By the way, this is Kagura that kind of feels like a whore.
It does, but not playing like one, definitely. Oh, that's going to be another kill under the turret. The turret will go down as well. I mean, Trevor was banking on that turret surviving, but it was so squishy against Bren Esports heroes.
EJ, that was like a play that Execration did earlier. Instead of going for the heroes or defending his teammates or defending himself, he attacked the turret.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if the Koopa pinned him down. Popol and Koopa just took down the turret, and all of a sudden, you're no threat at all. Then, Bren Esports pushes top lane, and you now have 6,000 gold for Bren Esports.
Bren Esports says, go ahead, pin us against the wall. What about, who's going to do the damage? Your tower is gone.
Yeah.
So that's going to be it. And now it's going to be BSB survival mode once more. Few bit of a misposition. Rebo charges up the Falling Star Moon just to push back that Wilson. And that's going to be another tower going down there. 7-2 on the kill score. 6,600 gold lead for Bren Esports.
Man. How can you go back for your BSB? Maybe take a pickup now, but that's not going to happen because the stun connects.
That's going to be it. And he's able to walk on out of there, at least utilizing some of that Ruby prowess. And there's nothing after that BSB can do. Like, literally, they're not even casting skills at this point. They're just running away.
Man. I think there is a book that says, don't give you Selena.
Yeah, literally a whole book dedicated to that.
There's a book titled, Don't Give Few Selena, and all the pages, it's just written, don't give few Selena.
Over and over again.
Over and over
1,000
and
pages.
over again.
Literally. And it's showing here.
Oh my
Selena doing the hunting here for that show. Way of the Dragon will be going down, but look at the damage output from this Selena already.
You know what they say? Kaboom.
Kaboom.
Ah, man. Really a sight to see. Fuse, Selena is so good. Flaptizi with the Thames as well. Manning up against 4 members of BSB and coming out alive.
What is that? That's not supposed to happen, right? That's
Yep.
so many crowd control skills.
That's right. One thing's for sure, that's not a lot of skill that he put in there. Maybe the jump away is good. But this is a product, a byproduct of Bren Esports leading by 8,000 gold.
Yeah, that's the result. You have tanky heroes that you can't take care of right away. And Wave Dragon by Wilson, though, going to be there for...
doubt they can kill him.
Yeah, that's not even going to happen. They're going to be the ones to suffer another one. And in the front line, View again once more, jumping in and out of the fight. Flicker forced out the Shider defensively again. And did the arrow hit?
Oh.
It did, almost taking out Shider. Because of that.
Sliver of health would have taken him down, and of course the abyssal trap was there. And few the boy wonder. The boy wonder from the Philippines, man.
So I don't know what we're gonna do here. This is just it. I'm running out of avenues for BSB.
Drix wants to
nice
go!
for Drix. Go in. That poison stinger is on point. But the consequence is giving a kill to the Wan Wan. Where's the Wan Wan when we need it? And that's going to be purified out of the way into the...
That's actually the
crossbow
second skill,
Tang.
right?
Yes, that's the second skill.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, look at this guy.
What?
Look at
No
this
way!
guy. The solo outplays from Carl
God.
Cheesy.
That bathing from Carl Cheesy. And Ruby didn't know where to attack.
Literal mechanics. This is just like a swag play here.
And this is just the 8-minute mark as they take out the Cho and probably the Turtle afterwards. The Turtle has been staying. That's 9 minutes in. You're already leading by 10,000 gold.
You know my fear about this, Wolf?
Look at Cartesi out.
Look at this guy. Look at him. So aggressive. He goes in with that turtle buff. He has a lot of damage. He still has that ultimate ready to go at a moment's notice. He's not pulling the trigger. Wants to go for the turrets instead. Wants to end this really quickly. 9 minutes and 18 seconds. We're already near the inhibitor turrets. We have one down. As I was saying, my big worry for Bren is they're already drafting a lineup that's not for the early game, but they already dominate. What more if they draft for an aggressive hero pool? Like, how fast will the game end by then?
I understand why BSB went for the Hellcurt. I really do. But it's just that the execution wasn't that much. And maybe the fault is you cannot do that to Bren Esports.
You just can't.
But you'll understand anyways. Like I said, they did pick up this... what? Okay. They did pick up the Hellcurt just to match up the early game presence of Bren Esports, but they did not move accordingly.
Yeah. He stayed in the lane. You played an assassin, but you stayed in the lane. Like, how counterproductive is that, right? Yeah. So, Wilson to be being the one getting hunted here on that show. He's making the run for it. Carl Deasy 1v4 right now. He's under fire, but he's the one doing the hurt. That's going to be a double. Will there be another one? That's going to be a triple on that. On that 1-1. There's nothing else that BSB can do to stop this for sure.
Oh, there it is. Few with the arrow connection.
Arrow? What?
Are you kidding me?
You
this
gotta
guy.
be kidding me. They're just styling right now.
Styling indeed. The BSB didn't even stand a chance against the mechanical level of Bren Esports, at least shown in this game. We know that they are mechanical skilled, BSB. They belong in this league. It's just that Bren Esports are on a different level right now with all of the superstars that they have. And there's not much explanation, but a 1-0 for Bren Esports.
Start that 1-0 again. This game went a lot longer than I thought it would. When I saw the draft, I was saying this lineup is for the 15-minute mark. You want to fight strong when your Wan is high level, when his itemization is on point. But that happened way too early for Bren Esports.
There was a time for Bren Esports where they have 2 level 4 heroes, particularly Flaptizi as well as the Wan one. And Hellcurt was what, 2 between 3?
Level 2.
Level 2?
Yeah, almost free, but...
It didn't matter that Flaptizi died first and gave the first blood. Perhaps the idea was just to be that reset hero or the invade hero for the Hellcurt. I want to say Tagalog words for that, but Man, the best description is he's a pain in the backside
Pain in the
of
backside.
BSB, particularly this Hellcurt. And this is why Hellcurt funnel doesn't work, because the moment that you mess up the rotation of the Hellcurt, it's incredibly difficult to come back.
Yeah, there's no recovery when you mess up and you don't use your poison stingers like to get early eliminations
That's
in the
right.
game. There's just no way.
Yep.
There's just no way that you can get those kills early on in the later parts of the game, because that's the early game is where the poison stingers are most effective.
Absolutely.
And if they start failing at before the 5-minute mark, there's nothing else to do about it.
Nothing else, man. Bren Esports are really just flexing their muscles right now, and I love seeing it.
Yeah, really love to. What I love to see here is the take of our solo analyst Butters about that game. What do you think?
At nagbabalik ako for more analysis para dito sa series number 2. It was BSB versus Bren. Ito na nga yung pinag-usapan natin kanina. Against all odds, BSB rito really finding themselves in a very sabihin natin, wag natin sabihin bad. Sabihin na lang natin, it's a critical point dito para sa kanilang tournament life. If you would see the capability dito para sa side ng Bren Esports was the poke potential na meron dito si Few at si EJ. And if you would look at the items dito, kung ano yung ginawa nila, yung mga taong nakakuha na ng Raptor Machete, because for the longest time, puro Raptor Machete yung kinukuha ng ating mga side lanes just because it's a cost-efficient item. Ngayon, ang Bren, ang ginagawa nila, they go for this Deadly Blade setup ng maaga just because of the extra stuff na nakukuha nila and the stats. Plus, yun pa yung meta ngayon. It's all about sustain. So, it's really cost-effective at napapagana talaga nila yung side nila. Meanwhile, onto the side of BSB, as you can see, wala talaga dito pareho yung mga tanks nila. Wala si Cap1, wala naman dito si Lusty. So, it's EJ and EJ. Ang ganda ng performance ka dito. And if you would see kung ano yung pinagkaiba dito ng Bren Esports, parang wala. It's still the same Bren Esports na kilala natin na nagdo-dominate. Well, for the side of BSB, they are still lost. I cannot sugarcoat it. Hindi pa nahanap ng BSB kung ano man yung identity nila dito sa ating Project Next na patch. If you could see that, nandito yung mga items. It was more on the idea na nakukuha na ng BSB mga core items nila, but the gold advantage ng kabila sa Bren Esports, they really got hold of the map ng maaga and they just won with that. Let's head on to our post-match data and ignore the bars. Pansinin natin dito yung mga numero. Kung papansinin nyo, 9K si Flap in terms of tower damage, 12K si EJ on the Popol and Koopa tower damage, turret damage, Carl si 1112K, while dito sa other side, it's only Wilson who got the turret damage. I mean, titignan natin dito yung kills, yung hero damage. Obviously, it's gonna go to Bren Esports. So, let's look at how much turret damage na ginawa nila dito. In terms of getting the turrets, 9 destroyed versus 1 destroyed. Turtle Slain is onto the side of Bren Esports. Nawala dito yung aggression ng BSB, yung control na meron sila into going into this kind of games. And it's really surprising na BSB dito is really having a hard time against Bren. Kasi last time nagkita-kita sila, may palag yung BSB. But right now, that isn't really the case as Bren dito seem to have figured out something dito sa side ng BSB or probably BSB. Katulad nga sinabi natin, it's all about the identity. They just lost that. And I think for game number 2, yun yung kailangan nila sagutin dito. Let's head on to the official tournament telco partner Smart Highlights. And as you can see, there is much aggression dito para kay La Flap. The arrows were hitting. Grabe yung connection dito grabe yung connection ni Few at ni EJ dito. Kumbaga kung hindi ka tamaan ng arrow, tatamaan ka. Kakagating ka nung lobo. And the dives na set up nila just because of Popol and Koopa, napaka-perfect din. Hindi nila hinahayaan dito na yung side lanes ng BSB is talagang makapaghanap ng sarili nilang tempo sa lane or certain amount of control sa lane. And this 1-1 just unloaded on them and triple kill as early as 10 minutes in. Cardsy dito, it really looked like he had the time of his life. And to be honest, this is really what happened. It was Bren Esports. Katulad nga sinabi ng mga casters natin, it is one-sided. But I do hope that BSB has something up their sleeves. Kart Z is your smart MVP of the game. 704. And look at this, 54,000 yung kanyang damage dito with a game score of 10.6. Maganda yung pacing dito ni Kart Z. And especially kapag kayong side lanes mo maganda, you are not forced to back up. Pwede kang mag-clear ng waves as much as possible. And at the same time, kapag ka nagdo-dominate yung side lanes mo, that means very good chances of getting more kills on your pocket. So yun yung pinapakita dito ng Bren Esports. Neutralize yung side lanes ng kalaban and just let Kart Z rotate and get the kills na kinakailangan niya. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. What a fast game number 1. Pero meron pa rin tayong usapang MPL ngayon. Since nandito nga si Drix at si Kart Z, pag-usapan natin yung 7 players na nakaabot sa 100 kill milestone. Tingin nyo ba, sino makakuha ng lead o may hahabol pa ba dito sa ating 100 kill club? Nag-comment yung ibang tropa natin dito at nanalo sila ng 269 skins worth 269 diamonds. Hindi 269 skins, masyadong madami yon. Pura tayo doon sa ating comment. Kevin Maderazo or Zal, si Kart Z ang makakuha ng pinakamataas na bilang ng kills ngayong season at kayang umabot ng 180 single kills. Fair enough. Naaabot talaga yung mga ganyang areas. 190 pala, masyadong malayo. 190. So yun na nga sinasabi natin. It's possible, hindi yan basta-basta kasi meron pa tayong playoffs. Bench, Samelio, si Kart Z ang makakuha ng pinakamataas na bilang ng kills ngayong season at kayang umabot ng 500 kills upang masira ang pinakamataas na kill record sa kasaysayan ng MPL. 500 kills. That is a possibility. Hindi ko tinatanggal yun. Head on sa susunod, Austin Martinez Coronel, si Kart Z pa rin na makakuha. Puro Kart Z, wow! Ng pinakamataas na bilang ng kills ngayong season at kayang umabot ng 780 kills upang masira ang pinakamataas na kill record sa kasaysayan ng MPL. All of those are valid and that is going to be our usapang MPL. Ano ang tingin mo dun sa mga pinag-usapan natin? At dahil nagbigay kayo ng kayong mga opinion nyo, walang tama, walang mali, meron tayong giveaway code na nandyan sa baba. Hindi ko mababasahin, masyadong mahaba yan. May isa pa. Ang bonus giveaway code natin dahil sumali kayo sa Mythical Raffle Draw. Meron sumali na 16k people on the Mythical Raffle Draw ng week number 7. And kung nakuha nyo na to, that means we should head on dun sa link ng week number 8 Mythical Raffle Draw. Boom! bit.ly/mrd-w8. Puntahan nyo yan and you go get your you answer the questions and you go get your skins. That is for you because nagpa-participate ka at mabuting bata ka o matanda o kahit ano man. Para sa lahat to, para sa lahat. And that is it for the solo analyst segment. Now, let's leave questions para sa inyo. Will BSB get out of this alive? That is the thing because they need it the most right now and I hope they do. But Bren Esports, hindi nila hahayaan yon. So, casters, run us through the story of the next game.
Very interesting questions there from Butters as well. I hope I got... There you go. Sync is back in. So, interestingly enough, so many questions were posed for BSB. So few possible answers, I have to say.
Okay, I was reading the report from our Lord God Himriel. Right? Let me just hook this up. Well, I guess the term is crucial. That this win is a crucial.
This next game
is a crucial game for BSB because they are trailing behind by a lot. And honestly, losing this series 2-0 probably is just the final nail in the coffin, I'd say. BSB, they're gonna be up against Execration and Smart Omega in their next matches, if they do. Unfortunately, I don't think Execration nor Omega will be giving away points. And for Signal Ultra, they still have plenty of more chances to win this. So it really looks bad, guys. And we don't want to sugarcoat it. For
Can't
all the fans of
sugarcoat it
BSB,
anymore, man.
and I'm sure that if you are part of the BSB organization, the fan base, I know that you are just praying a lot because every single game, every single part of the game, like the early game, mid game, every single draft, it's very important.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
That's all. Right. So the thing I noticed about the thing that struck me most from Butters is that they still don't have their identity. Even at this point, after 7 weeks, we still don't have a BSB lineup. I mean, we have a few BSB heroes. Drake's on the Yi Sun Shin is a classic. Other than that, I don't know, the show is a classic, but other than that, they really don't have like the BSB lineup, right? And that, I think that's saying a lot about how BSB drafts and about how BSB approaches these games. They win not because of their lineup, but because of individual talent so far. And that's where BSB's power lies. But as a high caliber team in the MPL, there's just no way you can rely on that.
I want to say BSB, they have learned their lessons, to say the least. There's the Selena ban, but then again, there's a lot of other things that you need to think about when you are drafting against Bren Esports, particularly the Thams. Are they gonna first pick it? Because what Bren Esports will do right now, I think they're gonna leave the Uranus open.
Yeah, for
Maybe
sure.
Bancho or Yuzhong or something else. I think they're gonna give away Uranus so that PSB picks up the Uranus. Then they take Tham's Esmeralda once again.
That sounds like a battle plan. That
is
just
the battle
actually
plan.
ban anyone here on the third one.
Farsa.
I would ban the Farsa for sure. Let's try to throw away the Yuzhong, which has a great win rate. The Valir's already out, right? Man, I like it.
Oh, there it is. No, it's okay because
fine,
you don't want to play Tham's.
You
don't want to give it to the opponent first pick.
Right, exactly. You don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
Because if BSB suddenly decides, we don't want the Uranus, we want the Esme, that's more difficult for Bren.
Absolutely.
Right, exactly.
So you can go Cho now for BSB or Thams. I honestly feel that you go Thams, but instead they go Hilda.
This guy got past the initial ban. That's surprising. Hilda's going to be able to be used at least by BSB. It has great early game potential and the ability to really invade on that jungle. Straight up. Wow, Super Shield. The Super Shield duo. Being locked in here by Bren Esports.
Oh, wow.
Confidence. I like it.
Something else indeed. BSB, do you go Ruby this time?
Ruby is...
Oh, it's
they didn't lock it in. I thought they locked it in already. That would have been so funny. That would have been fun to watch, at least for me.
That would have been.
But Fams is going to be... Look at the off-laners. Man, how do you even get past these guys at this point? Off-lane secured for BSB for Bren Esports. Both of their top lane and bottom lane definitely going to be occupied for a long, long time.
That's right. I think you go X-Borg now for BSB. There's really not much answer. So you go Roger and Yuzhong. All right.
Again, there's a reason why Yuzhong's not really banned up a lot these days. Only one recent win in mind. That was the game earlier for the Yuzhong. Other than that, in the previous weeks, Yuzhong just performing so horribly here in the MPL.
Farsa might be the next pick for Bren Esports. But kind of notice here for Bren Esports, they are so particular with their side lanes. And then they also added up with a mage for few. Instead, they go Lancelot this time. They want to be
very classic lineup here for Bren Esports, wouldn't you say? I think so.
The last time that Bren Esports lost with the Lancelot probably was last season.
Last season.
Months ago, perhaps.
Yeah, because right now in Season 6, it is 100%. 7 out of 7. Now it's 8. 8 picks for this Lancelot.
I thought you were going to say 8 wins already.
No. Of course not.
Of course not.
We're not there yet. Not there yet. But, you know, they're from the form of Bren Esports, that seems to be where their lineup is headed. This is just very difficult to control here. Without the Valir, For this lineup, how do you peel off a Uranus and a PAMS?
Oh man.
Right? That's just so difficult right there for you.
I can't think of any other. I think you go at best Chang'e plus the X-Borg.
Chang'e is a great pick. Chang'e is a great pick for BSB if ever.
How do you kill? How do you kill the FAMs in the
There's just no way.
Uranus?
Even the Farsa won't even make that much of a dink here in the early game. I guess that's their only power here in the early game. If they can take advantage of a Farsa pick, go ahead and do that early game damage. That's why we're thinking either Chang'e or Farsa, right?
Yep.
But Farsa's definitely gonna get banned out, I feel like, or possibly picked up for Bren because it's one of their classic heroes as well.
100% sure that. Okay, I like the Ruby ban. I'm 100% sure that BSB wants to get their hands on another solid side lane that can also be able to match up against the Uranus and the Thams. And there's not much options, honestly. Maybe Alice, at a certain point, can out-tank both of these heroes.
Well,
but
you can't really out-tank, I guess. Just go toe-to-toe. Match. There you go. You can match them.
But it's...
But that's just putting like a Band-Aid solution for me. There's no outright way to deal with this. You see, even in the Tagalog stream, they're shouting, Chango, please, Chango.
So they go Farsa?
Yep, as predicted. Farsa, like, Bren Esports likes their Farsa. And Chang'e is the most logical pick here.
Chang'e X-Borg, I think. So instead they go Angela. Instead of the X-Borg, they go Angela instead.
So off lane, Angela.
Okay.
And most likely going to be a Hilda on the mid lane alongside this Roger and this Chang'e to control that. Good luck. That's all I can say, man. But it's easier to build a Durance on the Angela at this point and the Chang'e, so they're going to be able to deal with at least some of this regeneration.
Yeah.
They'll be able to deal with the regen and the lifesteal of Bren Esports.
I think the perfect pick here is the Baksha for Bren Esports.
Yeah, go
Second
ahead.
perfect is Lolita. And the third wild card is Grok for Bren Esports. Those are my guesses.
What a wild card that is,
Yeah.
right?
This is EJ, man. And
It's EJ.
Bren Esports.
I don't mind the
figure that
Minotaur.
out.
Come on, bring us something.
Right.
Tigreal. Okay, close but no cigar.
Close but no cigar.
We almost had this one on 100% except for EJ had to go
Yeah.
for Tigreal. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Don't do that to us. That was 100%. Anyway, they got what I think BSB at this point got the heroes that they wanted. They got that Yuzhong on the Wilson.
Yep.
That's a very classic one. Drix as well on that. I would say it's a 50-50 for me. I have to double check.
Man.
They're on a 33% win rate on that.
I want to say that this might be BSB going for a core Chang'e. And then you start at the side lane for the Roger, and then you transfer into the jungle. Like like what we did, right?
Yeah, exactly. We did that. Zen Esports, when the casters play.
Yeah.
They're called
So it
Zen
kind of makes
Esports.
sense. It kind of makes sense. And what it does, what it does is that you give more levels to your core. And in the early stages of the game, fire matters, but sometimes when it comes to the poke battle, you want to get the level 2 on your core so that he will not be bullied out. Having, hear me out, right? Having 2 skills in the first minute is much, much, much better than having extra 100 gold or another small item.
Yeah, and
no matter what happens.
You throw that to the heroes that need it the most. He need the XP the most, and you'll be able to get an advantage at least in the
Absolutely.
first fight. Like our players, they're so aggressive all the time. They always want to fight early on.
That's right.
Right? Most players that we have. So that level 2 fight is something that almost always happens, and you need to get as much advantages as you can in that stage.
Absolutely. Here we are. Back in action for MPL-PH Season 6. And we will not go directly into the action because the teams just all of a sudden start to just give a timeout for each player.
Yep. So what we need to look out for is, of course, the early game rotation from the Chang'e, and whether or not Bren Esports is going to match that with their own Farsa, because there's no one really to accompany the Farsa to go for the invades. So I guess that's one thing that BSB has for them is that this lineup from Bren Esports is not going to be able to push out early on. So because of the nature of their heroes, right? There's just you have to stay lane. The Uranus is going to have to stay lane. Probably the FAMs. I don't know if they're going to do what Wilson did earlier on the FAMs. He's way too much. Flapteezy did.
Was Flapteezy.
Which to go early on, go deep in the jungle early on. I doubt they're going to do that, but they already did it once.
Man, you know what? This is Bren Esports, and they have planned it. And if you're asking me whether or not they will try to go for that aggressive invade once again, I think the simple answer is yes. They will attempt for that. But the moment that they see BSB is prepared for that, that's when they stop and halt, right? I want to see, however, the Tigreal with the flicker.
Tigreal, yes.
Because the last time we saw Tigreal, that was last week, it wasn't as explosive as we thought it would be.
We were expecting a lot of those big flicker ultimate implosions
right?
not happening. Mostly it was used defensively, so I don't know about this one. Of course it's Bren holding it. Come on.
Yeah,
There's